Okay, hopefully it is working now. For some reason, when I said go live, it did not go live. It just kind of sat there doing nothing. So have no idea what was going on there. If there's anyone who is in the chat and can see this, go ahead and give me a quick shout out here and let me know that this is coming in correctly now. But I will also try to uh, take a look through YouTube and see that I can actually see my own stream here real quick. So I do apologize. Just and I see John saying sounds good. Thank you, John. I have no idea what happened there. Like in an OBS studio, I hit go live. And I've been sitting here talking, and then my wife just sent me a text and let me know that it still said it was waiting for everything to actually kick in. So absolutely no idea why it went haywire there, but I'm sure it was something weird I was doing in the background. Who knows? So let me get back into the game here. Figure out where everything went. So I was doing a quick recap that we are headed for the we're heading for a theater based on the information we got in the last playthrough that we were interrogating that rebel, and after he finally gave us the information, we pulled a fast one on him and said, "Okay, good, I can see it over there," and said, "Okay, well, we're gonna let everyone know that you absolutely betrayed them." And so now let's get the game going again.
Plans are only things. The rebels might try to manipulate you into thinking otherwise, but don't be fooled. Now you better get going. The theater is in the upper streets. That district may not be safe anymore. Be careful, Anne.
I will.
Okay, so more and more it seems like we are working for the bad guys. That we are the totalitarian authority here, and it's not a good thing. Oh man, this guy, he almost got turned into to energy by us. So let's see, we want to get to the main streets, which I think is this way, based on a... Yeah, last time we tried to come through here, there was a reporter blocking our way.
They were certainly in a hurry.
They're nervous. Master Bonku is tightening security.
Okay, so for anyone joining who hasn't seen the stream before, the way we do things is I'm going to read off the options they give us, and I let y'all decide which one it's going to be. And I kind of had fun with yesterday, the way we did it, or not yesterday, I guess it was Monday or something. We had whoever responded first was the one I was going with. So for now, we'll keep it democratic. Whatever option gets the most votes is what we'll do. But I might start doing a more lightning round sort of thing. So we can either say, as he should, or is that a problem? And we're going to go with, is that a problem? I see John saying, is that a problem? Oh, yeah. John was here a little bit early, said early hello. And over on Discord, did I mean to post the link for one of the Talos Principle streams? Sorry about that for anyone who does come over here from Discord. It just automatically generated that. So I did change the text of my just kind of waiting there stream to make sure that doesn't happen in the future. And fortunately, he didn't use the link, but he did notice it after he opened the stream. So hopefully everyone is able to come over and it's not causing problems for anyone.
Do you have a problem with the way Master Bonku and I handled the rebel attacks?
No disrespect intended, Miss Enforcer. You know best.
That's right.
The mood in town has changed. Some forgotlings stay indoors. Others take it to the streets.
Let them. I have to get to the theater.
The town may not be the way you remember it.
I have the Arca.
All I mean is, it's a maze in there. But I'm sure you'll find your way to the theater without trouble.
So between streams, I did do some looking, and the art style of this, it did remind me of the Studio Ghibli, and the director's name was Hayao Miyazaki. And I know I'm messing up that first name, But he does just a lot of great Japanese movies, which, you know, I'm sure that if you've never seen this kind of art style before, usually when people talk about like an anime or manga, I'm sure the most well-known one is something like Dragon Ball Z or Naruto or Bleach or something like that, or One Piece. Even things like My Hero Academia, which I've never gotten into, but I think that's kind of one of the newer ones going around right now. That is not Studio Ghibli style. They just definitely do a much higher form of like art, basically.
Construction of the Ether Bridge is nearly finished, bringing the dream of returning to the Ether and our original human owners one step closer to reality. To date, only about 100 validated.
It looks like I'm out of anima or Arca.
So get out there and prove you've got what it takes. Who knows? Maybe Master Bonku will select you to join the lucky few. The rebels struck again this week, detonating two.
But yeah, things like Dragon Ball and Bleach, they are all more of the they're more of the action adventure kind of wish fulfillment kind of mangas, where you have one character who is super powerful and gets more powerful as the series progresses. You know, kind of the typical, what is it, like 13 to 17 male demographic that they shoot for. Let's see what these people are talking about. Oh, so there's a competing contraption going on here.
Oh, my stars!
Huh.
It's really you.
Do I know you?
Oh, you don't remember me? You used to come in here with Master Bonku.
Oh, Mrs. Hugh, isn't it?
Oh, you do remember? How lovely. I would have you and Bonku pose in front of the backdrop.
She's a camera.
Those photos on my wall. It's been so long.
Well, with all that's happening at the moment, few have time for the kind of memories I offer.
Then what do you do?
I'm mostly staying here. Sometimes my son visits. So much has changed. There's no place for an old forgotling like me anymore.
Okay, so our options here are sorry for not visiting, and it's because of the rebels. And I see that John had to step out, which I'm going to take this moment here to check on the stream, because it is, I don't know, it's being really weird today. And I think that this might be causing a couple problems for people. Which, you know, just exactly what everyone wants right now. Let's see. Okay, so the link I put in Discord, it looks like it is working just fine. And okay, yeah, it's working fine. Just need to make sure. Sorry about that. So I'm gonna go ahead and answer here. Just say, well, you know, sorry for not visiting.
I've had a lot on my plate lately. If I'd known.
Never mind that. You're here now. And you're the enforcer now. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. You should really come visit us at the tower.
I'm old, and my lens is not what it used to be. And I'm afraid I've started to crystallize.
So that's the second time that they've mentioned crystallization here. And okay, watching back through the first stream yesterday, I suddenly realized that the trunk that we saw, who all of his friends had crystallized, were the contents of the suitcase. Like, I can't believe I missed that when we were first going through this. But like, you know, he opens up and there's all the crystals in them. It was the stuff that was in the suitcase to start off with, and that just this game is cracking me up with that kind of humor. So let's see. We can either say that we're sorry that she's crystallizing, or it happens. And it seems like this crystallization thing, I'm not sure what causes it yet. Like, they haven't gotten into that. But I am kind of wondering if it's like when people are, or when these things are extra forgotten, if it's just an age thing. Like, once you're here for so long, things that are forgotten turn to crystal. Or if there is something else going on there with it yet. So I'm going to say, sorry, it seems like this was a family friend, close friend.
I'm sorry to hear that.
It happens to us all. Every forgotling must face it sooner or later.
The ether bridge is almost finished. I'm sure Master Banku has reserved a ticket for you.
And could I ask you for one last favor?
I'm in a bit of a hurry, but I can speak to Master Banku if there's anything you need.
How about one last portrait?
A portrait?
Yes, a portrait. If you want one, stand in the middle of the backdrop, please.
Okay, I'll humor her. We'll stand in the middle.
Try moving a little to the left.
Which is this way-ish.
Your other left, dear.
I did move her to her right. That's good.
No, that's no good. Go back to the middle of the backdrop, please. Hold still, please.
That's a rough-looking backdrop there.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Anne. Here you go.
Don't you want to keep it?
Oh, a portrait is a mirror. You should have it.
All right.
Mrs. Hugh, I just wanted to say thank you again.
Mrs. Hugh.
I've seen you.
Oh, gosh.
Pooh, Anne. I hope you find yourself out there.
I'm sure I will.
Okay, so let's look at... we got a picture of ourselves from the backdrop, and then let's also look at mementos, because we got a new one of those. Main sites, the theater, the harbor, and the cafe. Okay. Oh, wow. I was just thinking we're out of... Wow, how heartless could we be? I'm gonna have a lot of fun seeing what happens when I do a not nice playthrough. But it looks like there's something we can use. And, keep pushing the wrong buttons here today. Yeah, so Studio Ghibli, they do not do the traditional like Dragon Ball Z kind of art style. Each one of his are definitely more theatrical works. Like, they have themes they want to be exploring. Like, each one of his movies will at one point at least touch on the theme of like how man is affecting nature. Huh. I thought for sure that would be broken. I guess if we had just taken it at the beginning, and then we would have missed out on that conversation about the possible, the person who seems to be kind of a rival, maybe, coming up with their own device to get into the ether. Oh. Little lava lamp. Let's see. See if there's no place to go. I mean, I guess I can try jumping right here. But if we hadn't, like, if this is what I have to do, nope. I was thinking, like, if I had to make that jump right there using the wings, then the only way we could have gotten it would have been to either find that secret hidden Arca cylinder or drain the whole family friend of her Arca. That would have been harsh.
I'm sorry, what are you doing?
Target, the anima transfer pump by the central station. The rebels did try to breach the tower grounds, but failed thanks to a valiant effort by the enforcer.
What do you mean?
Officers detained a rebel at the central station this morning. With the swiftness of an ever-vigilant hawk, the enforcer swooped in and made him realize he was betting on the wrong team. Straight away, he turned his back on the rebels and agreed to help stop these senseless acts of violence. Oh, enforcer,
Guess I collect
we
some
owe you
things.
our very lives.
I'm not really sure why.
After the act, Chief Inspector Magnus had this to say. Enforcer, she's incredible.
So what's the rules in this universe for what becomes a thinking thing and what is just a regular thing?
Great work, Madam Enforcer. I'm sure we'll all sleep a lot easier knowing you're protecting us. I got mine.
Like in this game, there's these pictures and vases and chest drawers, and there's like this alpaca-looking thing up there. I bet Bird would know better. But up kind of right about here-ish, on the top shelf, there's that. I don't know. It kind of looks like an alpaca to me. But none of them are sentient things. So I wonder what is it that makes something sentient when it comes here, and what makes it like a regular object. So we can either say, yes, take a look, or no, it's private. No, I don't care. They can take a look. I'm answering these right now because I'm pretty sure that that John's the only one on here live, and he had to step off for just a minute. So yeah, take a look.
Go right ahead.
Only about 100 validated forgotlings have been promised a ticket across the bridge as a reward for their loyalty to Master Bonku. So get out there and prove you've got what it takes. Who knows? Maybe Master Bonku will select you to join the lucky few.
Okay.
The rebels struck again this week.
So we can come back here maybe and get something later on if we have enough things that we've collected.
The rebels did try to breach the tower.
Let's turn off that radio. Can I not turn the radio off? There we go. I'm just pushing the wrong buttons. All the wrong buttons. There we go. Let's see here. So I am liking the game design that they're doing so far. They definitely have done a good job of... I need that one to go up. They've done a good job of kind of making it obvious where we should be going and what we should be doing. With the exception... excuse me. With the exception of that train puzzle. That one definitely went right over my head for a while. That you're supposed to pump it several times. But honestly, I think that was more of my mistake than the game's mistake.
Who's there?
Hello. Is it the great enforcer on the stair?
Who are you?
I'm one... Wait, I'm one or the other, depending on who I meet.
You're not making any sense.
So is this a drunk wine barrel?
I'm content with the little I have. Are you?
Am I what?
Content with the eyes you were given, or scared to lose sight of them?
Okay, so our options are you ill or be careful? And I'm gonna ask him if he's ill, but I'm pretty sure he's just drunk.
Are you ill? Is there anything you need?
All I need is to be. Is there anything more you need?
I'm the enforcer.
You are? What could you possibly need?
Well, you're certainly unique. What's your name, Forgotling?
They call me the Hound of Nothing.
Well, Hound, you've clearly lost your mind.
Thank you. Now, step out of my rainfall, if you would. I'm drying out. I know where the roads in between lead, fools of more haste and less speed.
That was the strangest Forgotling I've ever met, and that's saying a lot. I guess she's never met anyone drunk before.
Not here, you aren't.
Which I guess maybe that's saying a lot for kind of the state of the city we're in right now.
Let me in. I gotta get home. Hello?
What's going on? Why is the security point unmanned?
Oh, Mr.
So this is the second security point that's not
I
manned.
left for work last night. This checkpoint wasn't here. And now I can't get home. I don't know what's going on the other side, but it sounds like some heated argument.
I'll go have a look at the ruckus.
What about me? I can just stay here, huh? Oh, never mind. I'll just sleep with my lava aunt.
Yep. Yep. Take away all my Arca there.
What is going on here?
Oh, the enforcer, thank the master. They were going to tear me apart and leave me for lost pieces.
Shoe on an electrical wire.
Yes, you were.
What seems to be the problem?
I have orders from Master Bonku to install a mirror here to tighten security, and that mob won't let me do my job.
You can't just come into our community like this. We meet for dinner every night right here. We don't want an audience.
Like
Oh,
Master
that is
Bonku
creepy.
wants to see you eat. Oh, what an exciting sight that would be. There, she's picking up the spoon again. I wonder what'll happen next.
Where's your twin shoe? Who forgets a single shoe?
Yeah? No wonder someone forgot you. Nobody loves a mop. Go stick your head in a toilet.
I bet you're not even a real forgotling. You're that shoe fishermen throw back into the lake.
Okay, so our options are we can either say shoo, no pointing fingers, or mop, stop talking. I kind of want them both just to stop talking, to be honest. But of the two, more and more, I'm siding with the rebels in this case, where I am not liking how much of a kind of draconian totalitarian government we're setting up here. So yeah, shoo, no pointing fingers, you know, with your shoelace ends there.
Shoot, calm down. We've all been forgotten.
They started it. I'm just doing my job.
We're just standing.
Oh, his name is Right, as in right shoe.
Right.
Right.
That's right.
I'm not saying she's right. However, we serve Master Bonku and he serves the realm. We can't just ignore their wishes.
You're not the one who'll have to answer to him if that mirror's not up.
Who cares?
Be quiet, Mop, right now.
You can't order me around.
She can do whatever she wants to you and your precious neighborhood.
That's true. I
For
can.
a haircut, enforcer.
I can turn everyone into energy. Like, this is such a weird dynamic, and it seems like, based on how everyone kind of reacts to me, that I've been doing that. So I can either side with the rebels and say take that mirror down, or I can say the situation is extraordinary. I'm going to side with the rebels. I don't think we need a bunch of, you know, closed circuit television cameras up all over the place.
Stop this now! This isn't worth fighting over. Take that mirror down. We'll figure out some other way to keep this area safe.
My orders are from Master Bonku. Who are you to defy his decree?
Don't start that.
You're a disgrace, enforcer. I'll report you to Master Bonku and Chief Inspector Magnum.
You forget your place, Shu.
My place is by Master Bonku's side. You disgust me, traitor.
Are you hearing this? He's out of his mind.
Well, that
It's still the
escalated.
mirror or it's still him.
I have to solve this dilemma somehow.
Yeah, we won. Now get rid of the shoe.
Calm down. You got what you wanted.
I'm reporting this to Master Bonku.
Wow, the second I started to take a different path, they were real quick and ready to label me as a traitor. Oh, and John's back. Hey, John. So what's been going on? Solved a couple puzzles, met up with a drunk wine barrel, and then we came here and found that Master Bonku was installing this security camera, which he talks through mirrors apparently. So he wanted this mirror put up here, and I decided with the people saying no, we don't need a random mirror here, and that caused the shoe to immediately label me as a traitor. Which, I mean, dang, that's some pretty quick turnaround.
You're the enforcer, right? My dad says that you're not as bad as everyone says.
Never mind that. Do you know how to get to the theater?
Well, you can't go the normal way. You need to go the secret way. Oh, it's scary.
I'm sure I can handle it.
You go through the haunted house. My friend Daisy
Ooh,
used to
haunted
live there,
house.
but now she doesn't, and I don't know why.
Which house is the haunted one?
It's that house over there. It has a weird light in the windows. I used to go over the chain bridge, or you can go around the back. Daisy made a bridge to the theatre on the top floor.
Thank you.
Let's see, and John's saying thanks for the update. You're welcome.
She was nice. What happened to her?
I don't know. If she did something illegal, she might have been taken to the plant.
Sunglasses are cool. I can't wait to go on the ether bridge. Want to jump hopscotch?
Sorry, I have to...
Show me some magic.
What?
I just thought you didn't look that mean, even though everybody says you are. And if you're not really mean, maybe you'll show me some magic.
Okay, so she's wanting magic, and like the only magic I can immediately think of is draining you of your own energy, and I don't think that's what you want me to do. So let's see, what does this do?
Yeah.
Okay, easy person to satisfy. I have no problem with that.
Ooh, scary.
Okay, let's see. Let's see here.
Wow. How do you do that? That was so wild.
I wasn't trying to.
Be an enforcer too.
I wasn't trying to impress her on that one. I just was hoping there was something over here I could get.
2, 3, 4, mop the floor. 5, 6, lay the bricks. 7, 8, smash the plate. 9, 10, start again.
There we go. So yeah, the art style being Studio Ghibli. It's definitely not like I was saying, like all the when people normally think of an anime art style, they think the Dragon Ball Z and stuff. But Studio Ghibli really has more of a story focus behind all the work he does, and especially a kind of a nature focus. Like he's very much concerned about the condition of the planet and how people impact nature. So like in my neighbor Totoro, they kind of look at like, you know, the disappearing, the way nature is kind of disappearing, specifically over in Japan. And then in was it Spirited Away, they looked more at let's see. Can I reach that high? I cannot. They look at things like the pollution of the rivers over there. So it's really interesting stuff, and it's definitely not just, you know, slamming fists into each other, kind of the anime that most people are familiar with. Nope. Let's see. And I'm getting a lot of these buttons mixed up today. And Sci-Fi Nation is joining us. Hey, Sci-Fi Nation. Glad you could stop on by. So I'm getting a lot of the buttons mixed up because I've been playing... Okay, so I think that will demonetize this video if I ever get enough subscribers for that to be a thing, and B, make sure that this video is not considered kid-friendly in the future. So hey, 2 birds, 1 stone. Which I saw, man, Peter cracks me up. I saw a tweet of theirs a while back ago where they were trying to get people to use less like species exclusive words and stuff. Like, they're really offended when people said we can kill 2 birds with 1 stone, and like, why don't we change that to we can feed 2 birds with like 1 seed or 1 seed packet? I'm like, well, that's, you know, we wouldn't say that because it's kind of a dumb saying, saying it like that. Was that it? Did I just get through? I didn't have to go through the haunted house. I was looking forward to the haunted house. I have no idea what the purpose of what I just did was. But you know what? We are doing the haunted house. She made that sound really interesting. In Sci-Fi Nation saying the OK sign is apparently unacceptable now. Go figure. This sign apparently is a dog whistle, which, you know, I find it really hilarious because, you know, all they did is they picked a random hand signal that they saw some random guy using on the internet. And they're like, okay, we don't like this guy, so this sign that he uses is now a racist sign, and we're just going to run with this narrative. And it amazes me just how many, like, people went along with this. Like, oh yeah, this is totally a legit critique of his now. It's the engineer's log, day 183. Bonku's designs are rudimentary at best. A sprout could open his vault. I cannot fathom why he would keep those wings he made behind that simple mechanism. It's akin to storing an anima cylinder behind a curtain and expecting no one to take it. No matter. Soon construction will be complete, and I will return to my rightful owner. I can't wait to meet him. I was meant for him. Huh. So yeah, it was just so totally randomly decided. But the thing that really cracks me up is once they said this, how many like Democrat people were caught doing the OK sign, like AOC. She uses that sign all the time. So it's like, okay, guys, are you going to be intellectually consistent and say that she is a closet racist, dog whistling, or are you just going to be honest and say that, you know, clearly you never believed your own rhetoric? And the answer is, of course, they're not going to do either one of those. That they're going to continue pressing the narrative that this is somehow a racist hand signal when it's not. And John is saying, things like that make me worry that we're headed for the world of Fahrenheit 451. Ban all types of expression because someone is offended. We really are. I mean, we were talking on the Discord server the other day about, what was it? Knives Out having a warning about people who are triggered or not triggered, who have a phobia of hearing other people vomit, basically. And people were saying that maybe that should have been included before the movie began. And it was like, really? This is, you feel like this is a thing you need to warn people about. Like, maybe people can just be, you know, grown-ups and realize that movies aren't always going to have things in there that you like or approve of. And guess what? That's life. Deal with it. And Sci-Fi Nation is saying, or that one movie where emotions are illegal. Equilibrium. it is one of my favorite movies. Exactly because they do look at this whole, what would life be like if we got rid of all our emotions? And it has a couple of fun action scenes, so that was also nice. There's Equilibrium, and then there's also Gattaca. Gattaca didn't look at the what if emotions were illegal angle of things, but it did look at just kind of the what happens when our world gets like too refined. What happens when we get too crazy with the things we're doing? And sometimes I do feel like we're headed that way. Let's see, I did the wrong thing there. Let's point it that way. Engineer's log day 191. I visited the lower streets this morning to drop off the anima cylinders I had left over from last week. There are so many Forgottenlings who have no access to anima, and I wish I could do more. I think they're starting to notice the missing anima at the plant. I'd like to think David would do the same. I know he would. I am his. I am for him. To him. All I have is his name, but he is a part of me. I must finish before they come for me. It would, in Sci-Fi Nation saying, it would force us to be Vulcans. That's racist. And speciesist. Excuse me. But yeah, I mean, it seems like more and more we are going toward the Gattaca route, where, I mean, we're literally heading for designer babies kind of things. And not just designer babies, but like correcting our babies after they're born is what it seems like we're heading for right now, especially with things like how many parents are pushing their own agendas onto their children, like the parents who, wouldn't you know it, as soon as like it was in the news the other day. I'm trying to think what it was. It was the first transgender couple in the UK or something, maybe Canada, and surprise, surprise, it turned out that their child was also transgendered, and they decided this at the age of 3 or 4, and it's like, come on. I mean, we're trying to get our kids to not just look the way we want them to, but literally change everything about them to fit our own worldview and agenda. Oop. And it's just insane that we're heading so fast for this kind of world where anyone who has the wrong types of thoughts is dangerous, and anyone who doesn't fit the way you want them to, they need to have their thoughts revoked, basically. Hey, there we go. I just had to make sure to let go at the green light level. Sci-Fi Nation is saying, so they took away from the kid the very freedom to choose that they fought for. Exactly. And it's so fascinating how many times this comes up where whenever you have a child living in this environment, that they end up, wouldn't you know, having the exact same issue that their parents did. Let's see. And it's like, can't anyone see that maybe we should just like tap the brakes a little bit before having these kids do life-altering decisions for themselves? Like, even, like, surely there can't be anything wrong with just waiting for half a second, letting these kids grow up a little bit before making major choices for them. But that kind of speech is hate speech now. So I mean, it's a brave new world we live in, right? Okay, let's see. Let's put him there. And maybe I can move this guy up. And again, I think all we have to do is get the balls into the holes here. And we'll be good. Is that it? Nope. Nope, that wasn't it. And then John is saying, parents who allow or even encourage their kids to transition disgust me. And if my child says he's a T-Rex, does that mean he should have surgery or claws or something? It's ridiculous. And you're right, it is ridiculous. Especially when it's things like, we don't let kids choose to get their ear pierced. Like, that's not something that they're allowed to do. And we're moving toward a parent who says no to allowing their kid to transition, that parent is like needs to have the kid taken away from them. Like, that's literally what happened to a guy here in Texas, where oh, they light up. There we go. That's the ticket. His wife, whenever the son was over there, would tell everyone that he would be dressed up as a girl. Like, the mom would dress him up as a girl. And when the dad found out about this, you know, he wanted to get her to stop because the kid is a young kid. And court ordered that he not interfere. And like, they said that if he does interfere, then they will take the child away from him. And not only if he interferes, but if he is even around, if he even has a kid around anyone who does not use the female pronouns for his son, the courts will take the son away from the dad. And the kid's a little boy. But the fact that the mom is pushing her own agenda onto the kid, we live in a society where, like, that's considered hate speech. Me saying this is considered hate speech to a lot of people, when it's not at all. Like, at no point am I calling for any kind of violence or discrimination toward people who have this mindset, because that's the last thing I want. I don't want violence or discrimination. But the fact that I say, hey, you know what, we do need to correctly, like, guide children and say, hey, this is most likely a phase you're going through. Wait until you're an adult, make your own choices. That's hate speech. Engineer's log, day 201. I think it is complete. I think I will finally be with David. I will return to the park where she left me. She will give me to him as intended. I will finally be in his hand, and with me he will understand. I will reunite them. They're here. I can hear them scurrying around downstairs. They'll never make it in here. They lack the mental capacity to figure out the mechanism. I will not give up. The only way is up. I will return. And even, like, for an adult who chooses this, you know, I do have sympathy for a person who has this mindset. What's going on here? I got a new memento. Because I do think it's sad. I think back in the day we recognized it as a dysphoria in the same sense as an individual who felt that his arm didn't belong to him. Like, this is a legitimate thing. There are people out there who, after an event or some sort of trauma, or just randomly, I mean, I'm not a psychologist, that's where my knowledge of this ends, but these people will believe that their arm doesn't belong to them or their leg doesn't belong to them, and they will try to, like, remove it. They'll try and cut it off because it belongs to someone else. And we used to recognize gender dysphoria, but a couple years ago they decided that calling things gender dysphoria was racism or sexism, or I guess transphobic would be the right word. To my dearest David, best of luck with the new job. I know you love daisies, but I love you more. To my dearest David, best of luck with the new job. I know you love daisies, but I love you more. Was this the card? Like, was this the person? Is this the engineer whose diary we've been reading? It seems like this might be the engineer whose diaries we've been reading, that they just wanted to be in David's hands, and then they were talking about someone dropped them and that it got forgotten, and once she finds them, she'll take them to David, and everything will be okay at that point. And Sci-Fi Nation is saying, if the kid chooses as a late teen, then fine, it's their choice, but they shouldn't have it forced or decided for them. In some respects, the same could be said for religion, no offense, or disrespect men. Well, none taken. Thank you, Sci-Fi Nation. And yeah, I definitely see what you're saying. I really have a problem with once things move to cutting off bits of your body, that's when I have extreme concern about the direction we're going with things. I don't think that any good doctor should ever encourage someone to cut off bits of their body, especially when you look at the suicide rate for people who have transitioned versus people who haven't, and see that like they're the same number. There's no statistical difference between pre-op and post-op. Then we can see that like this isn't the true problem that they're facing. And I think that all we're doing is encouraging self-harm at that point, and that's why I have such a problem with it. But I do agree with you that that once you're an adult, you get the freedom to make choices that I wouldn't agree with you. There's a lot of things people do that I disagree with in the world, and even things like beyond from a religious standpoint, just like, I don't agree with a lot of the way government runs, but you're an adult. You get to choose your own choices there. Let's see what's going on here. Oh, it's just a horse race. We don't need to listen to this too hard. Let's see, am I missing anything over here? But yeah, I would also have a problem with, obviously I do. I make it no secret that I am a Christian, and I obviously teach my kids about the Bible, but they don't get in trouble if they reject that. It's certainly in my prayer that they accept it, and I certainly pray that as we go over the things the Bible says, that they see the truths within it and that they turn to it. But at no point would I start really trying to indoctrinate them and force them into accepting my beliefs, because it's meaningless if they accept my beliefs. The only meaning that the Bible has, the only meaning Christianity has, is if it's your beliefs. The Bible and Scripture is very clear that it is a by-person response to the gospel. And if all I do is force him to take my faith, then that faith is meaningless. He doesn't need my faith. He needs his faith. So yeah, I totally agree with you on that point, Sci-Fi, that forcing kids into accepting your beliefs, I think it has major repercussions. So let's see, what to do if you're approached by a rebel. Join us in a town meeting about the increasing rebel activity in town. We'll answer your questions. What do you do if you've been approached by a rebel? To whom do you report suspected rebels? How to know if your friends or families are rebels? Make our street safe again. That is such an intimidating poster of Master Bonku there, and the shadow in the background. And John saying, I also try to raise my family for the Lord, but once they become of age, the decision whether to follow or not is theirs. Exactly. And it has to be that. A while back ago, we were talking in Discord about, what really defines a religion. And the things that I kind of thought of as we talked about this was the things that define a religion are, one, you have to be able to freely enter and exit that religion. If you're not allowed to freely exit the religion, then it's a cult. It's not a religion at all. And John's saying Master Bonku is sounding more and more like the Emperor. He really, really is. Oh no, wait, he does. For a second I thought that the radio DJ over there didn't have any anima, but he does. And then one of the second things that I said that defines a religion versus a sect of religion is hold on, we'll get back to that.
Yes, you heard right. This is not a test. Hello, madam. Welcome to the show. This is certainly a surprise of a very exquisite kind. We're all dying to know. With the last segment under construction, tell me, will the ether bridge be completed in the near future?
Hey guys, y'all give your responses. I am so sorry. I got a child who is screaming in the background, and I have to go check in with them. I'll be right back. Give me about 5 minutes, and I'll be right back. So sorry about that. Okay, there we are. So we gotta vote for yes.
Yes.
Mighty good indeed. We all look forward to going home. Tell me, what is the first thing you are going to do once you're back in the ether?
Okay, so what are we gonna do when we see the ether? Are we going to go see the ocean, or I want to see a forest? Now, personally, I am not a big fan of the beach. Like, I enjoy being out on the ocean itself, but I'm not a big fan of the beach. every time I went there as a kid, something tried to kill me at the beach. Like one time, I got sucked away by the undertow, and my aunt had to grab me by the hands before I got completely dragged out to the sea. Like I was all clawing at the sand and stuff, and, and my aunt saved my life. And then another time, like I got stung by a jellyfish or a man of war or something. And so yeah, I don't have fond memories of the beach. So John's voting for forest, and I am okay with that. Let's go to the forest. Forests are great.
I can't believe it. The Enforcer in her own words. And folks, it's right here on Realm Radio, like you'd ever tune in anywhere else. Just one more question. I know you're busy, so I'll make it quick. I just have to ask the question that's on everyone's mind at the moment. What's it like to soar on those wings of yours?
I feel free, or I exude power. Okay, so we're talking about and Sci-Fi Nation is voting for power, and John's voting for free. So I still have my quarter nearby. So the first one was Sci-Fi Nation respond with power. So we'll make heads be powers, and we'll make tails be feel free. So here we go. And it is tails, which, I mean, I could easily switch it. I don't know why I show it as if this validates anything, but it was tails. So we're gonna go with I feel free.
I like the feeling of freedom.
There you have it, folks. Freedom. I won't take any more of your time, madam. Wow, what a treat, huh, folks? The Enforcer in person. You're listening to Realm Radio here on RC 2020. In case you just tuned in, you're going to be sorry. You missed the Enforcer.
Okay, so yeah,
Studio with yours truly. And what do you think?
So yeah, for what defines religion, it is.
I like the feeling.
You speak the truth, Madam Enforcer.
It is. Well, it's hard to think with him talking in the background because I'm worried he'll actually say something interesting.
Compassion deep in her eyes. I can tell you that.
It is a set of guidelines based on a common religious text that allows you to freely enter and exit it at your own discretion. I think that is kind of the basic definition of what religion is, or a religion. And the thing that makes the distinction between a religion, like a denomination, and a completely different sect would be what they regard as their common religious text. So, for example, Muslim people would believe in the Quran, and then the difference between the sects of Islam would be whether or not you include certain parts of the hadith or something, or is hadith a verse? But anyway, that'd be the difference there. Meanwhile, on the Christian side, you have things like the Watchtower being used by, what are they? The Jehovah's Witnesses, and the Book of Mormon being used by the Mormons. So while they may give lip service to things like the Bible, at the end of the day, the book that they use is actually something else. And I'd say that'd go for Catholicism as well, that while they use the Bible, the ultimate source of authority is not the Bible, but instead the revealed teachings of the different popes. So I guess I can dress up in these. Is that what this point of this is? That's interesting. And Sci-Fi Nation is saying Catholic Bible has 3 extra books in it, I think. Yeah, the Apocrypha or something like that, the Book of Maccabees, or is that the Hebrew people have the Book of Maccabees? And that would be the difference also between, say, Judaism and Christianity, that Judaism doesn't focus just on the Torah, but on but on the teachings of the rabbis. Like modern Judaism goes much further than the original Old Testament or the Torah. It very much looks at what the rabbis have to say beyond the Bible. And so in a lot of ways, modern Judaism is a very different thing than a different religion than ancient Judaism.
Frankly, I find it disrespectful.
Oh, hey, we found Fig.
Get things done, Fig. I don't want things done that way. I didn't complain about this place under your leadership, but now I'm in charge. And I'm...
We both know where this conversation ends. You're digging your own grave, Fig.
I'm gonna get it through.
Okay, so we got some discord in the ranks, the rebels. Yoink. The things this game has, like, will let you do, the random, like, okay, I'm just gonna sit down now. I'm guessing this will just take me right back up. Yep. But I can't get back down. Okay. I was hoping maybe I could still get down the ladder even if I... Like, even if I took this lift up, I was hoping I could do the ladder in the back and then cut under it. And John's saying, I was raised Catholic and the official teaching of the church take precedence over the Bible. Yeah, exactly. And I know that I remember having a conversation with one person and him being really offensive.
I don't understand.
Finding it really offensive that I made a distinction between Catholicism and the rest of Christianity.
Try again.
I want to see Othello, actually. Oh, am I doing movie tone? That's great. Okay, let's see. O. Off.
8. 4. 3. 5. 5.
I hope this is how you spell Othello. I'm not the best speller.
Correct. Enjoy the show.
There we go. And I got that for the record, in case you're like, where on earth did he just get Othello from? One of the mementos we picked up was for Othello, wasn't it? I could have sworn one of the things we got. No, we got it from the guy we interviewed back here. Yeah, he said, say that you're here for Othello. That's how I got that. So I'm really not trying to be offensive by being like, well, Catholicism is different from Christianity. I'm just saying, like, if I break it down into, like, from very much a non-emotional based perspective, just what really makes a religion? What makes a denomination over a whole new sect?
I'll handle this. Go about your business.
Then based on the definitions I set up earlier, then Catholicism would be its own unique thing, because they do have a different core set of teachings than, say, Baptists or Presbyterians or something.
Does the name Mr. Fig mean anything to you?
Nope. But I was never good with names.
This Forgotling might be dangerous and is probably a regular here.
It's a popular bar.
And Sci-Fi Nation saying, I've heard Catholics say that. Weird that he was offended. You know, some people just are. And I definitely do my best not to offend people, but sometimes you hit a button with people. It strikes a chord with them, and they're mad. It's okay.
I don't know how you got it, and I don't care. You're welcome to look around the bar as long as you follow the house rule.
Which is?
Don't start a fight.
Oh, I'm totally starting a fight. Okay, so our options are, we can either say, I have the Arca, which is basically threatening him. The Arca is that little thing on our wrist that lets us absorb the energy straight out of people and kill them. Or we can say, don't worry, I won't start a fight. And John's voting for don't worry. And, part of the reason he might have also been offended was one of the things I noticed from a historical perspective is the way that the Roman Catholic Church kind of grew out of the Greek and Roman religions of the time. And Sci-Fi Nation is also saying, don't worry.
Don't worry. But if I find anyone affiliated with the rebels in here, must to catch them.
I can respect that you've got a job to do, even if I find it distasteful. But I also expect you to return the courtesy and not trash my bar.
Specifically, like, that there was a change in kind of the way Christianity was viewed during the Roman time period. Like, it changed in a lot of times, to be honest. At first, Christians were kind of treated like the boogeyman at the time, and the Romans blamed them for a lot of the bad things that were going on in the Roman Empire.
Hey, something's not right.
What are you talking about?
Someone messed with the pot.
No, I'm fine.
Not you. The pot. The pot.
Wasn't me.
It was you. I saw it.
I swear. Didn't touch the pot. You're the cheat. You've done it before.
I'm the most trustworthy forgotten in the realm. Ask anyone.
You can keep a lid on a trash bin.
You're in for it.
I'll be taking this, whatever it was. We got we got a queen that is done up to look like me. How flattering. But yeah, just how interesting it was that at the time, Christianity went from being considered almost like a plague to being the state-endorsed religion under the rule of what, Constantine, I think it was, who he was about to go into battle, and that sign said China Sci-Fi says. Which one? Restaurant. Huh, interesting. He was about to go into battle, and he believed that he saw like a vision from God.
I'm willing to overlook your obvious abuse of anima if you tell me.
And he painted a bunch of crosses on his shield.
They're like vegetables.
And he won the battle, and from that point on, Christianity became the official religion of the Roman Empire.
What do we even eat? With things.
I don't know.
Or drink.
I want a drink.
Totally. Later.
Later.
This is hopeless.
Are these guys wasted? Okay, so I'm going to explore a little bit, but we're going to come back to this point because I think that if I pull that lever, you can see how it kind of loops up there. I think it will turn off power to these guys and maybe start a fight. So if we don't find anything in the next couple minutes here, we're going to come back and y'all can have the option of us starting a fight in the pub after we said we won it. So anyway, yeah, Christianity became the state religion, and it's really fascinating if you look at it just strictly from a historical point of view, how okay, sure, I mean, if you're a bunch of peasants and all of a sudden the king says this is the new religion, you have to do it, obviously you're going to just take your existing religion and incorporate the new religion into it. And that's exactly what we see end up happening with Christianity and Roman Catholicism, or the Roman religion of the time.
Does that ring a bell?
Don't know what you're talking about.
You shouldn't be here.
Don't know anyone called Fig, and you don't belong in these parts, little hawk.
Where they replaced things like Hermes with Paul, and they replaced Zeus with God, and the demigods with Jesus. And so instead of praying to the different gods, it became you prayed to the different apostles and stuff. And Herod was kind of obviously replaced with the Virgin Mary. Oops.
Oh, now what?
Typical.
Now we'll never know what happens.
Well, hopefully that doesn't cause any problems.
Piece of rubbish.
Hey, I heard that.
Sorry, people. And Sci-Fi Nation is saying Christianity absorbed many pagan traditions, and some holidays are based on them. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of blending. I mean, I know people like say like there's a lot of questioning about whether or not Christmas is actually a pagan holiday, kind of based on the winter solstice. But if you look back on it historically, as early as 200 AD or 211 AD, somewhere in that time frame, people were already recognizing that Christmas as one of the, or December 25th rather, as one of the possible dates of Jesus' birth, which would have far predated the winter solstice that most people are thinking about whenever they refer to. Let's see, is this the spot I need to charge up? No? What am I missing here? Whenever they refer to Christmas as being a possible pagan holiday. But, I mean, that said, I'm sure there are plenty of other holidays that we've kind of incorporated into our Western Judeo-Christian society that certainly do have pagan roots, like, you know, Halloween. Let's see. And John is saying exactly what I've read. Or I've read a lot about church history, and much of what we associate with Catholicism came from Roman beliefs and rituals. Yeah, you know, it's definitely a very interesting, look. And John's saying the date of December 25th comes from old winter solstice holidays. Evidence in the Bible doesn't really line up with Jesus being born in winter. Actually, it really does, based on when the census was taking place, on the people who were in charge at the time, specifically Augustus Caesar, or not Caesar, Herod, and it was Augustus Caesar. That winter is a very strong contender even for the birth of Jesus. It was really interesting. My pastor actually did a look at this past week, and I'm happy to drop a link into the video area for y'all to look at if you want later. But it is a very interesting historical look at it.
Someone's looking for you.
Okay, our options are where's Fig or who. Here, while you guys are doing that, let me grab the link real quick, because this is a really interesting thing where that based on the evidence within Scripture, we have a couple month window where Jesus could have been born, and one of those options is around the winter time frame. Oh, they changed the website. I haven't been here in forever. John is saying one of the reasons I say that is because it's unlikely the shepherds would be out in the field with their flocks in the winter. And Sci-Fi Nation is saying, where's Fig? And also, sure, Matthew. Well, you know, it is an interesting look, and let me, if I can find that link for you real quick here, give it a listen to, because you know, I say these things, but I very much believe that people should research it themselves, and it's just there's no point in not researching something yourself. I am a firm believer that everything needs to be examined. So let's see, was the first just this past I think.
Well, I
how do I let's see, copy link address. That's what I want. Well, so I put the link there in the description. It's the December the 1st, this past Sunday message. And he goes over some of the historical background for why the 25th is a possible and a likely date for Christ's birth. So And Sci-Fi Nation is saying they were out in the desert, not much winter there. So where's Fig is the consensus of what we should say. So where is Fig?
Where's Fig?
He's right here in the bar.
And
Oh.
You're not looking in his direction.
I'm looking at you. Tell me where he is.
How does it feel, never having seen it?
Seen what?
The ether. Everybody's been there, except you.
I'm a human. I was born there.
Right you are. Of course. My mistake. When I don't get my anima, I start rambling. If only I could get a drink. Alas, the bartender has cut me off. It's a big misunderstanding, really. I know how it sounds, but...
If I get you a drink, you'll tell me where Fig is.
Oh yes, and a lot more.
Let's just keep it to that.
Okay, so maybe our hero here has not seen the ether, which it seems like maybe that's what they're calling the world. And he has Mickey's wizard hats in Sci-Fi Nation. He really does. What was the name of the wizard in Fantasia? It was supposed to be some play on words. Or not play on, it's supposed to be some rearrangement of the words of Disney.
Oh, Cataract sent you too, huh? Look, Siderius is a nice guy, and he only ever has one drink a night. But after that drink, I'm telling you, he starts preaching.
Preaching?
Yeah, becomes all philosophical. What are you doing with your life? Something. He even asked us to look.
Was it just Sydney?
He's bad for business.
Okay, so we can say I understand or he makes you think. Which, yeah, I mean, can you imagine someone starting to preach after having a couple drinks? That'd be awkward. Oh, what were we talking about a minute ago? Did we get back to that? Oh well. And we gotta vote for Makes You Think. I wish there's a way for me to scroll back in the chat here without pausing the game real quick. Oh yeah, we were just talking about the difference between sex and religions. Or sex and denominations. Okay, Makes You Think.
I can't see the harm in making you Forgotlings think a bit more.
Forgotlings come here to forget they're forgotten, not to get lectured about how they're not applying themselves.
I'll make sure he doesn't give any lectures tonight.
He tells me that I'm empty inside.
Well, you are a refrigerator.
He wants me to pursue music. Coming here putting crazy thoughts of Forgotlings who've got problems enough with the way things are. Music! Ha! Can you imagine a fridge like me hammering piano keys? So what if I like music? Bartending is all I've ever known. That's the purpose I took with me from the ether.
Huh. Okay, so should we say stick to what you know or give yourself a chance? I'd be interested in seeing a fridge play the piano, I think. This game is just so spot on with their jokes. Whoever came up with this game, they have my sense of humor down to a T, and I am loving this. So give yourself a chance there, buddy.
Give yourself a chance. Nobody's forcing you to continue what you're doing now.
You think so? I'll think about it. But I'm not letting Siderius tell me.
So, no drinks for him tonight?
I'll leave a drink here on the house. Who you give it to is none of my business.
Oop, let me fix something here real quick. There we go. Let's see. He left. I guess I picked it up. I hope I picked it up. This girl does not like jumping over things. Like, I gotta be in the right spot to make a tiny jump. But leaping huge distances, no problem. Okay, tell me what I want to know.
I managed to get a drink for you. It's down at the bar. Now tell me where Fig is.
Thank you. How did you persuade Malone? I guess Master Bunku is very persuasive himself.
Fig.
Right. Sorry. listen carefully. Over by the movie lounge, there's a decommissioned anima pipe. That pipe leads into an office where Mr. Fig is having a meeting tonight. The pipe is quite high up, but I'm sure you can reach it.
The movie lounge. Thanks.
See you around.
Okay. Let's see. So that's the anima pipe there, right? Or do I just have to do that to get people out of the theater? Ha! Family of cell phones. Let's see. No? None of that? Try that again. Oh, I think I see it over there. There we are. So yeah, I started talking about this and then got distracted, but
No, she's coming for you.
come
right?
on.
She's probably on her way right now.
Just do your part.
I will, but I'm not staying around for this.
What's that supposed to mean?
You're taking an unnecessary risk. I'm done here.
Hey, Bob.
Huh. Figurine. Oh, this game. And Sci-Fi Nation saying those apples didn't fall very far. So yeah, I have been playing 7 Days to Die, and it has just a couple different buttons, and so I keep trying to press those buttons out of reflex muscle memory, and keep messing myself up. Which, for the record, whoop, I guess I'm in the room now.
How nice of you to drop in.
There we are.
Clever move using the pipes. I must admit, I've been looking forward to meeting you, Anne. But where are my manners? My name is Mr. Fig.
I'm the enforcer, and I'm placing you under arrest, Fig.
You've got style. But, of course, I won't let you send me to the plant, and you're not using the Ark on me either.
Don't force my hand.
It seems I only have a rebel's choice. So long, Anne. Try to keep up.
Ooh.
Are you keeping up, Anne?
Don't call me Anne.
Another name, then. Your brutal ways have earned you many lately. How about Powerhawk, Soul Snatcher, Oppressor, a Marionette?
Man, I am.
Since you spend so much time on your shoulder, perhaps Little Hawk is more.
Oh man, I'm not doing well if this is supposed to be a timed event. I feel like Buzz Lightyear right now. You're mucking me, aren't you? Hold on. I want to make sure there's nothing we're missing down there. I am one of those people who, once I know the right way to go, I will intentionally go the wrong way. Just because I want to see what else is out there. Okay. So yeah, I have been playing 7 Days to Die. It's in the same vein as Minecraft and Space Engineers, except the whole premise is instead of it being a world you create, it is a zombie apocalypse. And so you have to find items and forge weapons, and then while you're doing all that, at nighttime, like the zombies come out, and you have to find some place to hide so they can't get you. Like they become a lot more powerful at night. Oh, random wall there. Okay. And then once every 7 days, which I haven't gotten to the 7th day yet,
Waiting for you.
they become crazy strong. Is what I understand. The point is,
Well, that didn't look too good.
it is super fun.
Didn't break a wing.
Let's see, could I have gone around this and not gotten embarrassed? Yeah, I could have. Oh well. Man, he is doing a great job of making me look
Much simple
ridiculous.
limits in life, right? Here you go.
Let's see, in Sci-Fi Nation is saying, I saw Achievement Hunter channel play it. It looks fun. It does look really fun. And right now, it is on sale on Steam.
Come on, little
Like
hawk.
60% off.
Better than that.
Okay, so stop calling me that or I'll catch you. And I really want to get Anti into it. And it'd be fun if Bird would get into it too, because it seems to fit more of our playstyle. Like, we were doing Space Engineers for a while, and it wasn't like, we just kept building things up, and no one wanted to fight each other because you spent all this time building it up. Okay, we got stop calling me that.
Oh, how sweet. The slave cannot see her own chains.
Stop!
Ask yourself, who is Bonku? What does he need? How does he get it?
You can ask him yourself very soon.
You're not good with words, little hawk. But who needs words when they have the Arca?
So yeah, no one
That impressed even me.
wants to fight each other. You spend all this time building stuff, and then you fight someone and you lose it all. It's not fun. Oh no!
Watch your step, little hawk.
The fiend stole my stuff. But with 7 days to die, oh, he's goading me, and he knows it. With 7 days to die, it's very much more of a you work together kind of game, and so I think we'd have a lot of fun working together, building up our bases, and then fighting off the zombies. And it's still a crafting mechanic.
I'll admit, there is a risk of casualties. Keeps me up at night. I was actually not in favor of this approach. It did finally get your attention, though.
How noble.
We only target machinery. How many forgotten lives did you take on your way here?
Not a single one. Not one.
I'm impressed.
You almost destroyed a segment of the ether bridge, and we'd never get home.
This is your home. Have you ever lived anywhere else?
Stop talking.
So that's neat. That was definitely a moment where how we've been playing the game would have impacted that interaction right there. I wonder if there would have gotten to be a point where if we had killed so many people that we would have lost the chance to have this interaction right here. Of course, I also wonder what would have happened if we had just if we had sucked them dry right there.
Wait. Careful, Anne.
Ruh-roh. Oh no! 1A!
Terribly sorry. It wasn't my intention. Are you all right?
I'll get you.
Well, he's a cheery fellow. I like him.
Who's there?
We really don't have much to be afraid of. We still have the Arcana. Can't quite get... Let's see, can I get it now? Yes. Okay, so they are somehow disrupting my ability to use Arcana. Let's see if I ditch it, will that get them to get off of me? I can't. Okay, so anytime I try to jump right now, I do this animation of trying to get them off of me. So all I can do is run back and forth. Huh. Okay, and those things are afraid of light. Okay. Okay, so this game is doing a really good job with its level design. It's being real obvious on the directions I need to be going with the game, while at the same time presenting just enough variation to keep things interesting and keep the story moving along. I also get the feeling that they are doing a lot in the background of how, if I played the game just a little bit differently, it might be impacting the environment in ways that right now I'm not catching. Like, the first time through, you have no idea when things would be impacted, when things are, you know, just like that's a dialogue no matter what. Lost pieces. What to do? If you spot lost pieces, get rid of any anima you happen to have and run to a well-lit place. If you're spotted, follow these 3 steps, and then the steps are missing. Okay, so there are lots of places to ditch my anima in this area. So yeah, now they gave me a good long intro period here where I got to learn like how to use these wings, how to use the Arca to charge things up, to take them away, and now it looks like they're finally adding in this new element of these fragment pieces, whatever they are. Ooh, ominous. Are y'all guys able to hear the sound of the game and me at good levels right now? I adjusted it a little bit the other day, and I just want to make sure that it's still coming in at a good sound level. And John's saying the sound is good. Thank you very much. Yeah, I asked because, like I said, when I was watching through my first part of this playthrough, there were several times where the music ended up overwhelming anything I was saying. Which, hey, you know, maybe people get tired of me droning on. Nothing wrong with that. But I want to make sure that I got that fixed, that you could hear the fun music going on, because they are doing a great job with this music. Which I found out, by the way, the people who made this, the distributors were Square Enix, which I did not realize that. But I mean, I guess I really should have, considering the quality of that this game is. Like, I thought this was a complete independently done game. I didn't realize that it had such a big publishing house behind it. Let's see. Let's ditch my anima. And Sci-Fi Nation is saying, nah, you have a good speaking voice. Well, thank you very much, guys. I appreciate that. Now go away, kids. You bother me. Okay, I'm gonna take that. And y'all can't tell, since you're not the ones directly playing the game, but this game is doing a really good job of fudging my abilities. Like, if I'm not in the exact perfect place when I'm jumping up, I didn't make it. Like, if I'm not in the exact perfect place when I jump up, it will fudge things for me. Like like when I jump up, my character will actually adjust herself in mid-air to get to the right spot. Oh, there's a light. Okay, let's do this. Like so. There we go. So I think one of the interesting things about this game is it doesn't seem like it is a game in which you can die. Which I don't know how old y'all are, but if you remember the old days of video games, like the early 90s Sierra games or LucasArts games where it was all the point and click adventures, video games used to be brutal where you could like die at a drop of a hat, or even worse, you would at the very beginning of the game miss like one random thing to pick up, and the entire you wouldn't realize that you had just lost the game until you're like 5 hours down the road. Like, games used to be harsh. Well, I'm just gonna stand here and let them get me, apparently. And Sci-Fi Nation saying 43. My first game system was an Atari 2600 and Commodore 64. Very cool. Ha! Bulb.
Begone, you pests! Get off there, I said! Follow me.
The Commodore 64 was... That was a nice deal.
Turn on the dispenser.
I mean...
Quick, power it now. In here.
I know a lot of people have a lot of love for the Atari, but man, those games for the Atari, they were something else right there. As we learned the best way to present information, and like, did I just get tricked into locking myself up?
Fellow Forgotlings, we finally steals away our friends, abducts our families, and suppresses innocent Forgotlings. I give you.
Oh, that was great. That was great. I love it.
What in the realm are you doing, Bob? What do you think this is? A witch hunt?
The Enforcer is on trial for her multitude of crimes against Forgotlings.
Oh.
Does the Enforcer have counsel? If not, I'll speak on her behalf.
Okay, so we can either say, I'll speak for myself, or what are you doing? Which, I'm loving this game. The fact that I just walked into my own imprisonment is priceless. And I love the fact that the mannequin, or the figurine rather, has the face on his chest instead of on the face of the mannequin. Like, that's just wonderful. We got votes for what are you doing?
Whatever you're trying to do, stop it and get me out of here.
I want to hear what she has to say.
Fine, you speak for the girl. I assume we can agree that we need to remove the Arca from her hand. Then we need to...
No.
Are you suggesting we let her keep the Arca?
I am.
You'd let her walk around with a weapon capable of distilling us all. Think of everything she's done to us.
What has she done exactly?
Where should I start? She aids Bonku in his assault on the realm. She distills Forgotlings at her pleasure. She treats us like things, and she assumes everyone wants to return to the ether.
So we're going to say everyone wants to go home, or you don't know what you're doing. Which, I mean, I'm kind of surprised that they are making the assumption everyone wants to go home. But are they even? I mean, I guess they're assuming that, but then they're controlling the rate at which people can leave. Like withholding tickets for who gets to leave. And then John's voting for you don't know. Hey, you don't know what you're doing.
You rebels have no idea what you're doing or what's at stake.
Tell me, Anne, do you understand what the ether is? What is this home you talk about?
We all came from the ether, and that's where we should return.
Why?
What? We belong in the real world with the humans. We were taken from our home and forgotten.
Do you have memories of your home?
I remember.
Or perhaps you remember the stories Banku told you. What does home look like? What are humans like? Have you ever seen a sunset? What does an ice cream feel like on your tongue?
I thought you wanted to speak on my behalf.
You're evading the subject, Fig. The Enforcer is a threat.
I swear, we're gonna find out that she's not even a human at the end of this game or something.
Let me refresh your memory. Our own loyal Dilly was first in line during our recent mission to the Tower Grounds. Dilly had a personal encounter with the Enforcer, face to face.
Indeed I did, but she let me go.
She let you go?
Well, she hesitated long enough for me to escape anyway.
Nevertheless, she threatened you.
True, but she didn't distill me.
Remember when Station Master Pax helped us escape on the train at Tower
Dilly must have been
Ground
the
Station?
scarf at the beginning of the game.
Enforcer could have distilled him when she pursued us, but didn't.
Leaving rebels at the station. Not very smart, Enforcer. And what about Heelto? He was the most skilled mission planner we've ever had, and she tortured him.
But did she distill him?
Did I?
Have you spoken to him after he got back? He'll never be the same again.
Remember when Bonku installed that mirror in town? I've heard the Enforcer actually spoke against it.
You have no source for that claim.
It's true.
The Enforcer confirms it. Then it must be true.
I heard she distilled the mirror. We passed that alley a lot. She helped us out.
She was probably
I don't remember Heelto.
poor Forgotling and hit the mirror by accident.
I'd say she outsmarted us in scrappers, Bob. The way she snuck up on us.
Ha! Regardless, it's clear that the Enforcer is a threat. We need to disarm her and use the Arca against Bonku.
I wonder if I could use the Arca on
Calm
him.
down! Stop it! I can't defend all of her actions, but you heard how she reacted when I asked her about the ether. She has lived here her whole life. Remember who taught her everything she knows. Banku did.
Yeah, Sci-Fi Nation is saying this is where decision impacts on the game. I wonder if there's an even like more, like a more Paladin style playthrough of this game. We need to say, "I'm not a victim" or "Stop talking," which I guess I'm in denial right now. Which, I mean, I get it. Your father figure is kind of being shown to be a villain, which we kind of got that, yeah. And Sci-Fi Nation is voting that we say not a victim. Okay, let's say I'm not a victim.
I'm not a victim. I'm trying to sort out this mess and get us all back to where we belong. Why is that so hard to understand?
We can't hold Anne responsible for what she's done while wearing the blindfold of Banku. The Enforcer is not as strong as you think.
She's a threat, and we need to deal with her now.
Calm down! Quiet down, please! There's something you don't know about Anne. Something none of you know.
Oh. Is
Anne's
that Mickey
not a
Mouse?
human being. She's a Forgotling.
Called it.
Then why hasn't she crystallized yet?
Anne and Banku each have an Arca. The Arcas keep crystallization at bay. If we take the Arca from Anne, she'll crystallize.
What?
What?
I'd like to call in a witness. Blanket, if you please.
Hello, Anne.
We met on the train. So you were a rebel after all.
Fig is right. You're forgotten just like us. You're a Forgotling.
What?
I've known you my whole life, Anne.
Oh.
We lived in the realm together when you were a baby.
The swaddling blanket.
Blanket you were wrapped in.
Do you know where I'm from? Do you know who my mother is?
Nonsense! Think about what the Arca can do for us. So what if the Enforcer crystallizes? It's about time she gets a dose of her own medicine. We need to distill the Enforcer, and we need to do it now. Justice!
Yeah, look, that's like Mickey Mouse down in the toward the right-hand side of the screen.
Arca will make you feel safe. Then we remove her Arca. However, no one is getting distilled under my leadership. I want her to at least crystallize peacefully.
Perfect! If anyone wishes to shelter this freak while she's crystallizing, speak up. That's what I thought. Now, go get that Arca!
Leave me alone! Stop it! Get away! I'll distill you! Keep up! No!
And Sci-Fi Nation is asking if it's the cigar bearer. I wonder. At least maybe his asset, if not himself. Okay, so maybe seeing her mom. I'm really interested to know what crystallization is.
It hurts.
I'm really interested for them to start explaining that.
Do you know what happened to me? Why am I here?
Shh, we'll have time to talk about that later.
Without the Arca, I'll...
Well, not instantly, dear. Crystallization comes to all of us. For now, you should try to relax.
Okay, so now I gotta relearn the whole game without having all my cool enforcer powers.
Who goes there?
We can either say the enforcer or never mind. Who are we now? You know, that was one of the things I liked about Iron Man 3. And there weren't many things that I liked about Iron Man 3. But one of the things I did like is that it really explores the whole who is Tony without the Iron Man suit. Is he still Iron Man, or is he just some random guy now? The thing that I didn't like about it, though, was at the end, we got never mind votes.
Never mind.
It is my job to mine, and to deny your passage to the pathway.
It doesn't matter. I'll be a crystal soon.
A crystal? You do not seem that aged. Regardless, I unfortunately cannot let you pass.
So yeah, they do all this great character growth to Tony. And yeah, there was the whole Mandarin debacle, which they just really dropped the ball on that one. Can't bat 1,000 every time. But the thing that really got me going was the fact that he could have called a legion of Iron Man suits at any time. Like, the ending with all the Iron Man suits really annoyed me, that it kind of destroys a lot of his character growth. Let's see, I can't get past these people then? Because, like, they tried to make such a point of, like, well, Tony Stark is still Iron Man with or without the suit. And here we proved he went through all these hardships without the Iron Man suit. And then you find out that he could have had a legion of them at his beck and call.
And the rest you know.
When can I join the mission team?
There she is.
Oh, I'm out of breath. Like, between that and the Mandarin thing, Iron Man 3 was just, it was a hard movie to watch. And it was sad because if you read any of the comic books, which I haven't read much in the way of American comics in my life, but one of the few ones I did see was a comic featuring Tony Stark and the Extremis Project. Is that the bowling ball from the train?
Folks, this This house is protected.
Oh, I think that's the bowling ball that jumped off the train.
We know what you've done.
And John's saying, I got the impression that he couldn't call the other suits until they cleared out debris from his house. You know, that's how they present it. And I was prone to believe it until you saw that there was an Iron Man suit that could lift the entire upper part of the oil rig by itself. Like it replaced one of the struts for the oil rig. There is no reason those suits couldn't have blasted out of the house like at any time they wanted to, debris or no debris. Which, I don't know, I admit that a lot of times I'm probably too nitpicky about movies. But if you ever get to read the Extremis comic, it is...
I'm fine.
Aw, thanks, little voodoo doll. Okay, we can either say, you're right, I'm not fine, or I'm fine, don't worry. One of the cool things about the Extremis comic is that it was exploring Tony's limit as a human being. That the abilities of the suit outpaced his ability to react to situations. And we got votes for I'm not fine.
You're right. They trapped me. They took the Arca. I'll crystallize. And it's all because of...
Oh, I'm sorry.
You don't have to pretend to like me. I'm the enforcer.
I'm Jinx. You'll probably call me a rebel, but what are labels good for, right?
Okay, we can either say that labels help organize or spoken like a rebel. Labels do help organize, but yeah, sometimes they do make it too easy for us to shortcut rational thought. Like I'm not sure if that's where the game's trying to get us to think or not, but labels do shortcut rational thought sometimes. And Sci-Fi Nation is saying that they divide. Yeah, labels do often divide. And sometimes it's helpful. Like, I can say that I tend to be more on the Phantom Menace side than on the supporters of The Last Jedi side. Well, that's an easy label that gives you a shortcut way of knowing that I wasn't a big fan of The Last Jedi. But I do think I do think that they can divide too much, because while the self-identification is fine, if it shortcuts everything else I say after that identification, that's when they become a problem and divide. So we got an option for organize, which will make heads, and an option for like a rebel, which will be tails. And we got heads, they organize.
They bring order.
I enjoy the mess.
Sure do. You're a rebel. We need order. We need control. We need to be civil.
Why?
You wouldn't understand.
I'm a rebel and you're the enforcer. Is that it?
Yes. No. You make it sound so... It's not that simple.
It's very simple. You fell, I helped you out.
Who cares anyway? We're all gonna crystallize eventually.
We change when we're faced with our limitations. We only have our actions.
Thanks for helping me up.
So Tony was dealing with his limitations as a human, that the suit was superior to what he was, and the solution he comes up with at the end is to actually abandon a bit of his humanity, to become more machine-like. And the way he accomplished this was through surgery that enhanced his, like, it gave his skin like a more direct interface to the suit, and then the Extremist enhanced his abilities and made him able to withstand the surgery.
If it isn't the enforcer.
You?
It was a long walk home. Thanks for not distilling me.
That's all right.
Which was a really interesting way to look into Tony's situation.
Be careful down here, though. Not all Forgotlings understand your situation.
I felt like they did a good job, like, picking out some of these moments from the comics and putting them into the series. Like, you see kind of this idea that he went through surgery to enhance his ability to interface with the suit in Avengers, when he implants all those little things into his skin and he can do this. Oh no, that wasn't Avengers. That was Iron Man 3. So yeah, they had bits and pieces where they took these concepts from the comic books, and then also kind of in Iron Man 3, it seems like they may have touched on the demon in the bottle storyline, where instead of him being addicted to drugs or alcohol, he was suffering through PTSD. And John is saying one thing that bothered me is that he destroyed all his suits at the end, but then in the next movie he just has a bunch of suits again. Oh yeah, it's kind of like meaningless character growth. And they also kind of touch on the comic extremist plotline when he started to do like the nanotech stuff, I think, where the division between him and the suit became more grayed. So Marvel, I think, has done a great job.
These Forgotlings died a natural death.
Of kind of picking the best elements and showcasing them in the movies.
It's actually quite beautiful.
How long before that happens to me?
About a day, I'd say.
Will it hurt?
Not at all.
I'm not ready for this.
Then why don't we go get the Arca back?
Hold on a second, guys. Oh, hopefully I got that in time. I didn't want to sneeze in your ears.
But I thought...
I never wanted you distilled. I don't want to see you crystallized either.
Then what do we do?
I want to give you the Arca and get you out of here.
How?
Bulb keeps the Arca safe at his house.
I don't understand.
I need you to distract him long enough for me to steal it.
What?
Afterwards, you escape and meet me on the surface. Take this map. Your escape route is marked on it.
And you'll just give the Arca back after all that, of course.
You are really looking forward to life as a crystal, aren't you?
Why are you helping me?
I believe in you. Here's the plan. Bulb wants to use the Arca to attack Bonko. That's why he has sent for a specialist, a Forgotling who knows the layout of the tower grounds. You will pose as that specialist.
How am I supposed to do that?
And Sci-Fi Nation saying, glad we didn't kill him. Yeah, me too.
He'll fill you in.
Wait, are we doing it right now?
We have no time to lose.
He's real
I'll
fun.
create a diversion so you can get out of here unseen.
It'd be kind of fun one of the things that Steam is really kind of known for is taking the game you just played and then re-releasing it from someone else's perspective. Like after Half-Life, they did Half-Life Blue Shift and Half-Life, was it Counter-Strike, where you played as one of the invading military police people?
It's time for me to speak up. Fellow Forgotlings, I see before me a group with the potential to do
So I think it'd be fun if they released a version of this game where you got to do Fig's adventure, where instead of it being quite the puzzler platformer, it was more the swashbuckling parkouring person.
I'm asking you to trust me, and that's not a small thing to ask. But I
Can I go up the stairs?
I have a plan. I will
Not go up the
leave
stairs?
you for a short while very soon, but I will be back. And if everything goes as planned, the tables will have turned. I'd like you to remember that we have a guest. Treat her with respect.
One of the things I am liking about this game is with the way they've designed these levels, they've made it clear, like, this shape is something you can interact with. Like the button shape, they don't just have circles everywhere. They have the doorway shape, and they don't use that shape anywhere except for where you can interact with it. I really like good game design like that. Let's see. Dear F, I still feel welcome here at the station, and everything seems to be running smoothly. The security manager, Sekti, does a good job at keeping the station safe. In fact, if I were a rebel, I would make sure not to underestimate him. I'm looking forward to the fireworks. Your friend, P. So that's from the station master, Pax. And there's the guy who was totally not a rebel.
You?
In the ink. I escaped.
So you did.
Let's get it on you.
Get what on me?
The disguise I made for you. You can change behind that screen.
I'm redoing this game, and I'm killing all these people. I'm dying to know how this would be impacted. And Sci-Fi Nation saying Rebel Ragdoll is at the helmet blocking the path. Okay, so when we were in the spot where we could go behind the different dresses, I was wondering if the last one we stood behind would be a dress we were in later in the game. So if we end up being the white frilly one, then my guess was right. And if not, then it was just a random thing you could do. Oh, I was so wrong.
Better than I imagined. Bulb won't suspect a thing. Here's the plan. Bulb has the Arca in his house. We're gonna get it back.
How will you do that?
I will present you to Bulb as the specialist, and when we're in his house, you make sure to keep him busy. Meanwhile, I open a window so Fig can steal the Arca. Simple.
Okay, we can either say that plan is stupid or Bulb will know it was me. And John's saying now that's a disguise. It is. Like, the only way I think the disguise would have been better is if she had like the glasses that had the fake mustache, or if her disguise was like just a headband that had two little like star dingly bops like the old alien costumes used to be. And we got to vote for Bulb will know it's me. I'm so glad. I am so glad I got this game. Okay, 2 votes for Bulb will know.
Bulb won't recognize me at first glance.
No, he won't. Trust me. You look just like a moving box who got lost in the warehouse. In fact, you look a lot like my third cousin. But he might recognize your voice, so you'd better not speak.
How can I keep Bulb busy without speaking?
Trust me, Bulb will do the talking. You just nod and shake your head. Literally.
What if I need to get your attention?
Then wave and make some kind of sound. Let's try. Can you nod? Like you're confirming what I say.
Okay, I do E to nod.
Ah, yes. Perfect. Very convincing. Now, let's have you shake your head like you're disagreeing.
Q to shake.
Yes, it works. Bulb won't suspect a thing. Now, let's try the wave.
And space to wave.
That's fantastic. There's an actor hidden in you, Anne. You're ready. Let's go get your Arca back.
And Sci-Fi Nation saying, I still say that's Craig Ferguson voicing the Quill. Okay, I looked him up, and the only, the top results for Craig Ferguson were him flirting with women, which I guess that's his thing. But yeah, I could see...
Yeah, that's the spirit.
I could see that being his voice. Okay. I'm gonna get these buttons wrong, I know it.
I was rather pleased with Bulb's leadership.
He did get results, but I'm talking about a long-term resolution to the conflict.
Affirmative. That would be acceptable. But Fig is too liberal.
Limits equality in themselves?
I say we need discipline. Order. Bulb is the right forgotling to provide that.
If that's what you want, only time will tell if you get it.
The leaders should work together. We could have the best of both.
Sorry, I'm enjoying listening in on their conversation.
Most of the time.
Affirmative.
He's also in How to Train Your Dragon.
The girl?
Briefly.
Who is he in How to Train Your Dragon? Yeah, I'm familiar with that franchise.
How so?
She might be a forgotling like us, but she's nothing like us.
Is he Hiccup?
You know what I mean?
I don't.
No, I know it. He is the guy with the stone tooth, the forger, isn't he?
Now I understand what you mean.
Great.
Gobber. Yes, thank you, John. Gobber. I can hear the I definitely can hear that in his voice. And apparently now that we have a box, I no longer suffer from the slow walking and the pain.
Let's go.
Yes? Oh, Quill, you're here with the specialist. Perfect. Come in. I don't remember seeing your friend before.
Ah, Bulb. A joker as always. Of course you recognize the great Crate Buxton. He's had key roles on several missions to the Tower Grounds. And I don't have to mention the incident in this morning's operation, I take it.
Oh, Crate Buxton. Certainly, of course. I'm honored. That was quite a A thing you did.
He doesn't talk much after the incident. I'm sure you understand.
Of course. Well,
John's saying my children have been big fans of the movies and shows for years.
Keep him busy.
In Sci-Fi Nation says, maybe she was fatigued from shame. Now she's in disguise. Yeah.
This, Mr. Boxton, is the plan of our next attack on the tower grounds. With your expertise, I'm sure we can improve it. The watchtower has always been a problem for us, but during the last mission we sabotaged the gates. My hope is that you have information about exactly how much damage we inflicted. Can we walk straight through the watchtower now? I see. That's news to me. I'll plot that in on the plan. What about the workshop? This morning's attack revealed that the last segment of the ether bridge is kept there. Did you see anyone guarding it? Really? No guards? That's great news. I guess he relied completely on the Enforcer.
See, and Captain Redneck, hey, thanks for joining us, buddy. He's saying, just stopped in to say hello, gotta get to bed. Early day tomorrow as usual.
Mirrors, perhaps.
Well, thanks for stopping in, Redneck. I always enjoy people coming by.
So we might be able to get in after all.
This is Forgotten Anne, and
Those are some peculiar
this humor is off the wall. I am loving it.
like that before. They remind me of.
Say, Bald, did you know that Mr. Boxton is also very well informed about anima systems and Arca theory?
Really? That's wonderful timing. I have so many questions. Let's go downstairs.
Oh,
Between
gosh.
you and me, I'm experimenting with the Arca. I'm close to figuring out how to wield it.
Okay, I'm gonna run around. Can I move upstairs? No, I have to go back downstairs. And Captain is saying, I heard these streams are fun, but I don't know this game at all. Yeah, I just started playing it. This is my second part of it. It's the first time I've ever played this game. And this humor is just off the wall.
I've tried to map out how the Arca works. If my theory is correct, we're just scratching the surface of what this thing can do, and so is the Enforcer. Look, doesn't it seem like the Arca can actually store anima? Really? No. I was so sure. If an expert like you doesn't agree, perhaps I should go back to the drawing board. Do I have this all wrong? I do. Yes, of course I do. What was I thinking?
I have no idea if I'm actually keeping him distracted or not here.
Perhaps the two of us need to... Hey, you! Plumage! No snooping around. Stay down here. No one goes upstairs without my permission. Did you hear me? I don't want you upstairs.
Well, I'm going to have to look up and see if that is Colin Ferguson doing the quill.
What I meant was...
Way to almost blow my cover, Quill.
Mr. Boxton, about your Arca theory.
Oh, yes, I think you'll like this. My other theory is that the Arca could be among the very first crystals in existence. Perhaps even the one with which our whole world originated. What do you think about that, Mr. Boxton?
I guess I'm going to say yes to that.
Yes, it makes sense, doesn't it? To think that I might have some kind of cornerstone to our existence in my possession. Hey, what's going on? I thought I told you no snooping around. You sneaky feather duster. What do you think you're doing?
Can I move or anything?
That sly little forger. Sorry about this, Mr. Boxton. I have to see if everything is all right with the Arca.
Yeah, wave. Hello? Oh no, I'm stuck on the stairs.
I could be the Forgotling who discovers how to reverse the crystallization process. Yes, yes, I'm on my way. I don't understand. Yes, yes, I'm on my way.
There we go. There we go. Got him back downstairs.
Yes, yes, I'm on my way. We're here. Now what is it? Why did you? You lured me down here, didn't you? You want the Arca for yourself. No. No, that's absurd. I'm sorry, Mr. Boxton, but I am surrounded by Forgotlings who lust for power and can't be trusted.
Gosh, hurry up, Fig.
What?
Let's see if I can't slip out the front door now before he figures it out. The jig is up.
No! It's gone! No!
Come on.
That was my last chance! I'm finished! This is it! I'm done for!
Nope, I guess I just gotta wait for him.
I'll find that thief and make him pay.
So I guess I just get to do whatever I want to in here now. See if there's anything like a memento upstairs. Can I go upstairs all the way? No, it won't let me. Darn. Oh well, let's go ahead and get out of here. Man, it's a good thing I'm not stuck doing a slow walk during this investigation.
Has anyone seen the enforcer? Or that sly little quill?
Let's see if we can't get out through the passageway now.
Who goes there? Oh, good day to you, sire. May I inquire about your errand? Oh, it must be important then. Perhaps even top secret. What have I missed? There must be an order that did not reach me. Oh, I missed an order. Am I right? That's horrible. I am just like those idle freethinkers now. Is Bulb angry? Say no more, I understand. How bad is the situation? It is even worse than I thought. I must spring into action. Fear not, help is on the way.
Yeah, let's get out of here. I wonder how long we'll be in this totally perfect disguise. I feel like I'm the llama in Emperor's New Groove. You know, no one will ever recognize me in this disguise. And then Sci-Fi Nation saying, I think you'd like the Death Spank games. And John saying, don't mind me, I'm just walking down the path in a box. And now look, I think you're right, guys. I think she's ashamed of herself right now. Because look, we're out of the box and now we're all hunched over and stuff. Oh, fun. A maze. Oh, gosh. You guys are about to find out that this is not my strong suit. Let's get lucky here and one-shot this. Okay. Regarding sewer construction. Dear Mr. Struct. Was that the teddy bear? I think that was the teddy bear. Chain smoking or cigar chain smoking teddy bear. I understand that the designs for the sewage system have been approved and you have started construction. I must, however, bring an urgent matter to your attention. No digging is to be done on the west side of the foundation of the plant. I am conducting a geological dig there, and I expect to make some interesting findings that can teach me about the past of this land. Please confirm the reception of this letter. Sincerely, Master Bonku. Yeah, I've never heard of the Death Spank games. What's a good example of one of them? Okay, this is where we started, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. Okay, so we did the first one, and then we did the last one. So let's try the first one here this time. Or maybe we did the first one last time. Yep, there we go. That's a little different. Okay, we're on track 1. Are we back at where the train station?
He promised he'd be here.
Sheesh, chill, Anne. We just got here. I mean, it's not like we're dying. Let's see, we'll try. Man, I still have so many questions about this crystallization thing. Like if it's just age. Like if it's just depending on how long you've been there. I wonder if there's like a way to slow it down. Like, is that why they need the anima?
And oh, thank goodness.
Or is it just a is it just like a straight, once you hit so many X units of being here, you turn into crystal? Okay, so we can either ask him where he was, or I should distill you. Way to bite the hand that feeds you there, Anne. Hey. And we got a vote for where were you? Yeah, where were you, buddy? I could have died.
I waited and waited. Where were you?
I'm sorry, Anne. Getting out proved harder than I thought.
They did allude that Bonku and her, or they did allude that Bonku and her would, when crystallized with the Arca.
I told you, I believe in you, and you're essential to bringing peace between the Forgotlings and Bonku.
That's what Master Bonku is trying to do.
I know, but I'm confident you will succeed where he has failed. Before we do anything else, I have to show you the plant.
The plant? Why?
Let's call it the price of my help.
I don't see what good it'll do.
It's important, and you owe me a favor.
Ooh, an extra U. This is a British game.
You did save my life. Don't go thinking I'm suddenly on your side, though.
Are you on Blanket's side, then?
Blanket is... I don't know. A lot has happened, and I don't understand most of it. Just show me what you want me to see.
I wonder if Bonku is also a Forgottenling then. Which, I wasn't totally right. I was saying I was right when I found out she was a Forgottenling, but I wasn't totally right. I was thinking that she was like an actual object and not just a forgotten human baby.
Follow me, Anne.
Fig did save me, but can I trust him? Oh, it'd be great to distill Fig at this point.
Take my hand.
Yay, teamwork.
Come this way, Anne.
Whoops.
Take my hand.
Let's try this again.
Come this way, Anne.
There we go. So, if this is going where I think it's going, where she's never seen the plant before, and it turns out she has no idea about the horrible conditions there, that would be interesting because that's something they actually did to
Have you been here before?
the German people who lived near Auschwitz, who claimed that
Just to let him know
you know they had no idea about the atrocities
That's
going on
not a
within the
good
prison
idea, Anne.
prison camps.
I usually report back
They
several
made
times
them
a
march
day.
through the prison camps and see the
Why
horrible
don't you
conditions
call him
that the people
after
lived
I've
in.
shown you the plant. Come on, there's an old service track outside we can use.
And honestly, I think that I think there's a lot of situations that people would benefit from having to go and witness firsthand the effect of their choices. Okay, so let's see. I'm sure this will be important later on. Somehow I guess, and Sci-Fi Nation is saying, and had them bury the dead. Yeah, I mean, it was none of this, well, we didn't know nonsense. It was, you guys knew. You just chose to turn a blind eye. Okay, I have no idea what this is going to do yet, but I'm sure at some point coming up, we are going to have to do these 9 steps to get something activated. And I'm guessing I have a choice where I could call Master Bonku. But I guess we'll fig one. I should report back to Master Bonku, but what am I going to tell him? Oh, so are they going to make me? They're going to make me. Okay. I did not see this coming. It's always weird to me in a game, games that give you the more choice, I always get thrown off when they take away my ability to choose.
Are you all right?
I'm sorry I didn't...
What mirror are you calling from? The old checkpoint 7. What are you doing out there?
I know, Master. I'm sorry. You wouldn't believe what happened to me.
Chief Inspector Magnum told me you are hunting this Fig character.
I followed him into the sewers.
The sewers? I want you home immediately, Anne. Struck just delivered the last segment of the ether bridge. I need only to install it. The rebels cannot interfere anymore. Forget Fig.
Okay, we can either say that I've almost caught Fig, or I can't come home now. I really wonder how far they're going to go with Bonku. Like, are they going to make him be completely evil, or are they going to kind of do a heart of gold situation? Like, oh, he really does want what's best for people. It's just he's not compassionate enough, or he has a rough exterior. He has the wrong mindset. Or are they going to be like, oh, by the way, Anne, the reason I need you home so desperately, the reason I've cared about you your whole life is because you're the power source for the bridge, so have fun with this knowledge. Okay, so we got votes for can't come home.
I can't come home now, Master. I need to do something first.
What are you hiding, Anne?
I'm not hiding anything, or I can't tell you. Which, look at his face. I mean, that's quite the 180 there. From concern to suspicion. Seems like someone might have a healthy case of paranoia. Okay, we got votes for a split. Okay, so not hiding will be heads, and I can't tell you will be tails. And we got tails. I can't tell you.
I'm sorry, Master. I can't tell you that. I need to figure this out on my own.
I want you home right now, young lady.
What's at the plant?
You can't tell me what to do. You're not my dad.
Plant.
You know about the plant. It's our main generator.
Oh, gosh.
I need to see it.
Our main generator, huh? Where we keep sending Forgottenlings? What do you want to bet that we're distilling the Forgottenlings to turn them into our energy source? Okay, so what are you hiding, or I'll come home? I want to know what he's hiding at this point. I bet we're using the Forgottenlings as energy, or we're using their crystals or something like that. Like, at first I just assumed that like this was a work camp sort of place where the Forgottenlings were living in horrible conditions. Yeah, what are you hiding?
What's at the plant? Please.
I will not tolerate
Or did y'all watch Rick and Morty? You know the episode where Rick created a pocket universe, or a micro universe, where people had to step all day to generate electricity. That's kind of what I was assuming we'd find at the plant, where people are having to slave away to create electricity. I'm going to turn off this mirror before we go. But now it seems more like we're going to find that the Forgottenlings are...
What are you doing?
I'm trying to get this service car
are being
running.
turned into
I
electricity.
called Master Banku, but a sudden anima outage cut the transmission. Do you know anything about that?
What's that supposed to mean?
All I wanted was to make sure he didn't worry.
I was just making sure we could use the service car.
Hey, that's hard to believe, or you're right, I'm sorry. And Sci-Fi Nation saying, those plans sabotage the plan, I bet. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. Which, I mean, a possible 9-step plan, that's going to be a lot to sabotage the plan. Which, hey, well-designed plan. If it takes 9 steps across an entire plan to bypass all the safety features to destroy it, I think that's a pretty well-made plan. Okay, votes for you're right, I'm sorry.
You're right. I'm sorry. I don't want to argue. A lot has happened today.
I know. I'm sorry to drag you through all of this.
Alright, so after saying we're sorry, we can either press the issue asking if he cut the anima flow, or let's just get going. Which, I know, I would assume he cut the anima flow. I mean, best case scenario, I would assume he did it by accident, not knowing that we were making a phone call after he specifically told us not to. And worst case being he did it on purpose to cut off the transmission. But yeah, he cut it off would be my assumption. Oh, another split. Okay. Sci-Fi Nation, since you're first, heads will be, did you cut the flow? And then John, let's get going, will be tails. Oop. And we got tails. Let's get going.
Let's just get going and talk about something else.
Of course.
Hello, energy. Oh, I see. Oh, gosh.
So, what do you do for fun?
What?
You know, when you're not out enforcing.
Why are you asking me that?
I just want to get to know you better.
Aw, does Fig have a crush on us?
Jumping, climbing, using the arca.
Staying in shape is good. I'm partial to fencing myself. I'm not very good at it. I once accidentally stabbed my teacher. To be fair, she was a dummy.
So are you.
Touché. So what else do you do?
I collect things.
What kind of things?
Things that catch my eye.
Oh,
Things
gosh.
that feel nice when I hold them.
This sequence.
See? We already know each other a little better.
I have to admit, you're not all bad.
Why, thank you, great Madame Enforcer.
So, Fig, what's with the wig?
Yeah.
The what? I'm not... It's not a...
It's a wig. I know you lost one at Central Station, and you replaced that.
So, you found one of my many dark secrets. Yes, I wear a wig. That doesn't make me a bad forgotling.
Not at all.
In fact, it provides me with a certain charisma.
Oh,
It is a good wig.
About the interruption of your call to Banku.
Let's not talk about that. Actually, I'm sort of looking forward to seeing the plant. I've never had a chance before. Something important always came up. We're almost at the plant.
And they're making me pump this every time we want to move forward. Come on, Fig. You're a mannequin. I'm a human being. I think you shouldn't be outpaced by me. I also think we could have just walked that bridge.
Yeah?
You remember the ether, don't you?
Well, the whole ether business is a little different when you're a forgotling.
Okay, we need to say, what do you mean, or I am a forgotling? Which, you didn't see it, but there was about a 5-minute, like, cartoon sequence at the beginning of this. I say cartoon, but I mean, it was in the exact same art style. But it starts off with a sock that's lost under a bed, and then it shimmers, it gets transported, and then it starts screaming its head off because it's falling from this huge altitude down to the ground. Which is a hilarious scene, but that might be what he means by experiencing the ether. So, what do you mean?
You mean it's different for me because was human.
In the ether, forgotling has a single purpose. The form we're given. I was a posing doll. A simple job. In the ether, that's all I could be. Down here, I can be who I want to be.
But all Forgotlings here long to return to the ether.
If you don't realize you can be anything but a teapot, you'll never try to be anything but a teapot.
Once I reach the ether, I'll know who I want to be.
When I first arrived
Okay,
here,
so they're
I
calling
had no
Earth the
clue
ether,
who
I
I was
guess.
or my purpose. Actually, for a long time, I was on Bunku's side.
You're serious?
I thought
Returning
ether
to
was
the
some sort of
ether
like
may not
transition
magically
place.
make you realize who you can be.
Let's see.
We use this entrance, Anne.
We don't have to sneak in. I'm the enforcer.
And to them, I'm the rebel leader.
Good point. We'll take your way.
I was standing a lot too close to the mannequin just then. I was really looking him straight in the eye. Kind of need some Great Escape music if I'm going to be crawling through tunnels.
This way, Anne.
I don't think I'm going to be able to get through that steam unscathed. Yeah, let's go ahead and turn that off. Ah. Okay, yeah, it wouldn't have let me jump into it. See, this game's really nice. It's not letting me kill myself. There's no jumps where if I mess up, I fall into a, you know, a bottomless pit or something. Okay, so I gotta turn it back on now that we're done with it. Which is certainly fun. I mean, there's enough puzzles and platformers where this isn't just a walking simulator game. Which is, you know, a game where there's a larger narrative, but you're basically just walking along, reading each page of the narrative.
This must be where the prisoners sleep.
The workers sleep here. Well, those who get to sleep.
But when there's no serious risk to life and limb, sometimes I do feel like I'm starting to do a walking simulation game. But I don't feel that way about this one. I do feel like even without the risk of life, they're doing a good job throwing enough puzzle elements and platformer elements to make the game really interesting. Also, I'm assuming at some point we'll make it back to the tower with Fig here, and we'll be able to go into that room that we couldn't get in at the beginning of the game.
It's all very confusing, but it's only temporary. Master Bonku will have you ready and settled with a purpose soon enough. You work hard and earn that ether ticket back home.
Is that what I think it is?
This is where Forgotlings arrive from the ether.
So many forgotten things. What are they doing with them?
They're deciding their future.
It's an employment center.
I suppose you could call it that.
And John's saying, I don't mind the walking because I like the story and dialogue. See, it's a tough call for me. Because a lot of times I can read faster than the game has the text speed going. Which is why, like I used to watch anime and I just can't anymore. Because in the same time as I can watch a single anime episode, I can read like 5-10 chapters out of a manga. So when I'm doing a walking simulation game, sometimes I end up getting bored because I can read so much faster than the text goes. So I spend a lot of time just waiting for them to catch up with my reading speed. And John's saying in this game anyway. But, you know, I don't feel like this game is being a walking simulator. There are definitely a lot of platformer and elements. Like, it's definitely a strong narrative game, but I don't feel like I'm stuck in a walking simulation. Like right here we go.
Let's go.
Like with most walking simulation games, there's not much in the way of anything except you literally walk from one point to the next and enjoy the pretty scenery. Which, a lot of those walking simulation games are stunningly beautiful. Oops. Nope.
Come on, Anne.
Okay, so I guess I gotta start over here. Oh, I'm not doing this section very well. Okay. Oh, come on. Okay, if I stand right here, I should be able to get. Let's get the wings out. I can't believe I missed that. And Sci-Fi Nation is saying, I like to explore and not be railroaded by, like in a linear game, but I do love a good story, and this game has it. Yeah, I do love non-linear games, like games like Fable, where I can go in any order I want to go in, are the story games I really get the most enjoyment out of.
Go. Try the lever.
You try the lever.
I'll open it up for you from here. Nicely done, Anne.
And I do like my games to have more than just action to them. Like I never could get into like the Counter-Strike or Rainbow Six kind of storylines. And it wasn't that they weren't good, well-made games. It was just they're a little too light on the story narrative aspect of it. Even the later Rainbow Six games got better at providing a bigger narrative than just you run around shooting people.
Between you and me, do you think we'll get our ticket for the Easter Bridge?
I wonder if the pot's gonna call the kettle black here.
What's our guarantee that Master Bunku will keep his promise?
And Sci-Fi Nation is saying that Fable is Mrs. Sci-Fi's favorite. It's a great game.
You haven't seen any sign of a ticket yet.
You won't get a ticket talking like
Which one was your favorite?
Come on, let's get back to work.
I enjoyed one. Like, one has a very high ranking on my list, simply because it was so novel and so new. But I think 2 did just a little bit of a better job with the mechanics. Like, they had time to really think about it. I remember there was a Fable Wii Connect game. I had that game for about a day or two before I returned it. It was just the worst.
Over here.
You know, like most Wii Connect games were. Oh gosh, Anne, you're such a slow everythinger. She likes Fable 3. Which one was Fable 3? I know I played it. I mean, I ended up playing all the Fable games. I didn't beat that, I didn't beat the Kinect one, but I did play it. And it was just the worst. Like, the first level you did, you were driving a horse cart around, and so you had to use your hands to do the horse, and it just... Would it surprise you to know it never worked? Nope. Try that again. Orphan raised by a wizard or something. Okay. Oh, man. I swear I can do platformers, despite what you guys are seeing right now. I remember the first one. I mean, the first one you're yourself. The second one, Is the second one where you're the prince? Or is that the third one where you're the prince? Well, crap. The prince is the second one, okay. And then you end up like meeting up with the sister Teresa again in the second one. Well, now you got me wondering if I have played the third one. Surely I have. It was for the Xbox 360, right? Oh, you've got to be kidding me, game. You're killing me here. Okay, if it's for the 360, then I've definitely played it. The 360 is the last of the Xbox systems I actually bought. Oh my goodness, I swear I'm sitting here telling her to jump and she just sits there looking at me. Okay. Okay, wings out. There you go. Getting ready to run here. Oh my goodness, she literally just stood there doing nothing for a minute. We'll get this. I just gotta be patient. And not start sobbing like Bird. SOABing, I should say, not sobbing. That was just dust. Let's see, Wizards and Warriors for the NES. Now that was a platformer. I don't remember that one. I've been showing my son... oh yeah, I worked it outside. I knew you meant Wizards. I've been showing my son some classic NES games. Like I was playing... So I had my family over for Thanksgiving. On Thanksgiving itself, we went to my mom's house, but leading up to Thanksgiving, the whole family stopped by. We have about 20 people in the family nowadays, and I pulled out RBI Baseball for the NES. It was a beautiful thing.
Nice jumping that.
Oh, don't patronize me. We both know it wasn't. RBI Baseball was one of my least favorite games that you just can't stop playing as a kid, because I'm not sure if it was just bad control design or if the game literally designed in errors. Like, you know, you mean to throw the second and you end up throwing to home or something. So I'm not sure if they're like, well, you know, errors happen in baseball games, so we're going to include kind of an error factor to our games. Like maybe you mess up. But whichever way it was, that game was just the absolute bane of mine and my brother's existence. And having my nieces and nephews over, and I brought that out and had them play it, it was a glorious thing to listen to all of them just losing their mind. Like, why on earth? I told it to do this. It's not doing it. This game makes no sense. And I felt like the Emperor. Yes, let the hate flow.
This way, Ad.
Oh, I was just up there, Fig. Come on.
Do you ever think about our job?
Don't start that again.
I'm not. I'm just wondering if you ever feel bad.
Yes, I feel bad all the time. I feel bad that no one seems to appreciate that we're slaving.
I'm gonna get a refill on my anima here real quick. It is? Oh, good for me.
To provide the city with anima. And I feel bad that even a validated forgotling like you
questions the purpose that Master Bonku gave you.
There are so many other places we could work.
Yes, I'm sure you want to clean streets, demolish buildings, or set up security mirrors.
You know what I mean.
I don't have a clue, and if I were you, I'd be careful with spreading that rebel talk around.
I'm not rebel talking, I'm just thinking.
Don't. It's better that way.
Okay. Was that political commentary? Having the only Russian-sounding people in the game, encouraging the lack of thought and encouraging a state-controlled system where you're assigned your jobs?
We need to find another way.
Or is that just humorous coincidence? Let's see. Another way in, huh? So here we're seeing the anima pumped into the barrels. What would happen if I... Try this again. What would happen if I would fill them up just before they got filled? That would happen. Ha! Nailed that. Sci-Fi Nation saying, or John saying, I don't think the Russian accent was a coincidence. You've got to wonder. And Sci-Fi Nation saying, I mostly played the Dragon Warrior games and Mario on the NES. Top Gun and Hunt for Red October sucked on it. And Trek games were wonky. Oh, Top Gun. I think I made it maybe to the second mission. Like, most of the time I'd die on the carrier landing. I could not get that one to work. I don't remember Hunt for Red October. I do remember playing another submarine game called something like Secret Service, which to this day I can't tell you what the point of it was, but I do know I never got very far in it.
Fig, could you help me here?
Oh, you're right. We need to flip them at the same time. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
Well, that was more forgiving. I remember having to do that exact thing in Final Fantasy VII, and it took me just minutes, so many minutes, to get the timing right, because they were unforgiving with their timing. It's like, no, if you don't get this perfect, then you've already lost. Okay, there we go.
Can't open it. It's broken.
Typical Forgotling design.
Can you find another way?
Can I find another way in? I don't know.
In?
I should hope so. There we go.
Pull the switch, Anne.
Pull the switch. And Sci-Fi Nation saying Red October was a side-scroller. I did not know that. There must be another switch. Oh, here we go.
Let's go.
I'd love to.
Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Whoops. Too soon. Sorry.
Ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Maybe there's a switch somewhere.
Fig's got a good, sophisticated voice.
Nicely done, Anne.
That makes me think of was it Robin Hood Men in Tights, where they made the joke with I have something that none of the other people who played Robin Hood before have, a proper British accent.
This way, Anne.
Come on, it's a misunderstanding. We can work out.
Oh, hey, it's Quill.
Red-handed faking ether bridge tickets.
There's only one place for you.
I can make it worth your while. I'm sure there's something.
Be quiet.
Do you realize what a godling like me can do for you?
Not interested. Stop talking.
You don't understand. I'm not cut out for hard labor, but I'm a wizard with numbers.
For crying out loud, would you shut up?
Come on, I'll do anything.
Ah, I got something you could do actually.
Butter jam for a toaster.
Could you take a few steps back, please?
Well, Quill, it was nice knowing you, but you validated my theories, I think.
Now that's useful.
Wait, stop!
Quill!
Why did he do that?
Quill was a rebel.
I guess he did some bad things, but still, that is not protocol. We do not treat forgotlings like this at the plant. They come here to work. I think I understand what you wanted to show me. This is an unfair treatment of forgotlings. I'll report this to Master Bonku.
We haven't even scratched the surface. Come on.
I'm sorry. Quill didn't deserve this.
No, he didn't.
And John is saying, I was thinking of Errol Flynn earlier. Yeah. I wonder if British people think if they sound really good, or if they enjoy a good exotic American accent. I doubt it. I doubt they think the American accent is exotic. Maybe the Australian one is exotic to British people.
Don't take the stairs. This way.
Fine.
Can't open this. Come on, open. Doesn't anything work in this place?
I guess the Forgottenlings do work in the place. Oh, what's that, Fig? We have to take the stairs? Oh, sorry, Fig. Should have listened to me in the first place.
I'll follow your lead.
Oh, so we just get that one. It's a freebie.
Fig!
Rennie, hi. I was, hoping you were doing your rounds.
I knew you'd come back.
You also know what I'm here to do, and why the Enforcer's with me.
I can't allow that, Fig.
Fig? What's going on?
Oh, Fig used to work here.
Okay, so is that the truth, Fig? Or Fig, what else are you hiding? And let's see, Sci-Fi Nation is saying, they use proper accent for talking jobs because the normal everyday accents are hard to understand in the different regions, so I was told. Huh. I did not know that. Really? Huh. Okay, we got some votes for Is That the Truth, Fig?
Is that true, Fig? Did you work here?
I was afraid you'd refuse to go if you knew. It'll all make sense very soon, Anne. Your answer is right behind that door.
Everything will change if you show her this.
I'm counting on it. We're going through that door.
I'm reporting you to Master Bonku as soon as you do.
Sorry, but you're not. Anne, look, I
don't want to hear it, Fig. Just show me whatever it is you want me to see.
This way.
Anne is kind of dense sometimes. I mean, I kind of felt like it was a given that he had a connection to the place.
You could have told me you used to work here. It wouldn't have mattered.
What do you mean?
I chose to follow you here, and I chose to trust you.
You're right. I should have been more honest with you. I'm sorry. Whatever happens, I want to be your friend. I am your friend. You understand?
Fig, what are you going to show me?
The truth? The truth beneath the truth? As long as this isn't about to go like 50 shades on us, I think I can handle whatever we're about to see. Oh, we can see what the boxes were. The boxes that I kept missing as we climbed up them.
Attention plant workers. This is an announcement from the tower. The final segment of the ether bridge is now attached and the tower's anima reserve is recharged. For testing purposes, I will require a steady supply at 85% above the baseline, so keep the kettles hissing. And I told you not to come here. I knew you would probably find your way in here someday, especially after our last talk. I hoped I could speak with you before you did.
Okay, how could you? Or, I don't understand. Also, I mean, I'm kind of surprised. I guess it needed to happen for the plot, but like, I was assuming this was a public announcement across the entire plant. So I'm kind of surprised like he could see the one mirror that we happen to be standing in front of, you know, way over here. Okay, so we got to vote for how could you and I don't understand. So how could you will be heads and don't understand will be tails. We got heads. How could you?
How could you do something like this? These forgotlings.
And they are just things. Objects. What use is a single sock? They have no purpose.
They deserve a chance!
My sweet hand. What about the forgotlings you've distilled?
I didn't distill anyone. I might be harsh on forgotlings, but I don't distill them for no reason.
Distilling is not a bad thing, Anne. It's over in an instant, and they will crystallize anyway. They gave their lives, so we can go home.
Why didn't you tell me I'm a forgotling?
You are a human being like me. I have located the sewer rats who told you otherwise. I am taking care of them as we speak.
No!
Oh, and what do we have here?
Oh, now he notices.
The thing that calls itself Mr. Fig. Do you think you can trust that forgotling hand? Did it ever hide anything? Did it always tell you the truth? And I miss you. I miss us spending time together. I've been so busy lately. If you come home, we can leave all this behind and just be us.
Okay, I miss you too, or it's too late. So I can kind of agree with both of them at this point. I get Banku's stance of all these objects are just things, because that's exactly what they are in the real world. They're just objects. But I also get Anne's position that we are in some sort of weird world where things are sentient, so they're not just objects. But yeah, it's too late.
It's too late, Master.
And?
My whole life, you've used me and lied to me. I don't know you.
Do not say something you will regret it.
Stop the furnace, Master.
You have to understand that I cannot...
So yeah, meanwhile in the background they keep absorbing all these forgottlings.
Master, you keep telling me that improvisation is a praiseworthy thing. Big,
Yes?
let's tear this place down.
All right, here we go.
That lever controls the speed of the rails.
I'll turn off the depleter and the furnace.
Careful. That button fires the depleter. I'll slow things down while you turn off the depleter and furnace.
Wait, what?
If you stop the furnace, no one except the tower will have any animal. And please,
Okay, not that one.
all the work I put into this, even forgotlings found meaning in building this plant. You are destroying their work. Think of all the forgotlings we have provided homes and jobs to.
Okay, I'm not entirely certain. Okay, let's pull this up. Let's see. Is this what we need now? I don't think so. I feel like I missed something talking about, like, hey, this is what we should be doing right now to make it all work. Or not work. Yeah, I definitely feel like I missed something here. Okay, if we pull this switch, that guy will turn green, right? Yep. Now what? They both turn green. Well, I've made it green. I'm going to assume that's a step in the right direction. Okay, we've turned off the furnace.
That did it! I understand. You have made your point. Stop this, Anne. Do not turn your back on me, Anne.
Stop brushing off your dress and let's go up. Okay. Okay, here we go. Maybe I should have taken care of this one first, because we just lost 2 groups of people. Whoopsies. Sorry, people. Or Forgottenlings, rather, but still.
Well done! Pull the lever for me, Anne.
Okay, so what am I doing here, Fig? Oh, this could probably totally be a chance to get rid of Fig if I wanted to. Like I could get him right under the right under the furnace thing and turn it on.
Fig, I have an idea. If you turn on the depleter, we'll turn this thing on itself.
The depleter? Alright, I hope you know what you're doing.
Yeah, I hope I know what I'm doing too, because that seems like I'm trying to plug a power strip into itself.
Take this!
If you do this, you are just a thing like them.
I'm cool with that.
Stop it this instant. I took you in when no one else What did you do? You couldn't even catch a Forgotling without letting it manipulate you.
Yeah, I'm coming, Fig, as soon as they let me. Ooh, that is some Loud music. Get off the roof, get off the roof, get off the roof.
There used to be a ladder down.
I don't see it, Pig. Go back in it.
They'll never make it out in time. Your wings
Won't carry us, but
Go on, jump. I can find another way.
I'm done making bad choices.
This is a bad choice, Anne. This is a very, very bad choice.
This is a bad choice, Anne. This is a very bad choice. Aw, I've lost my wings.
Are you hurt?
I don't think so.
Your wings.
I don't care about my wings.
Come on, Anne. You heard
I care
Bob.
about your
We found
wings.
the sewers. We have to go. Take my hand.
Wait.
What are you doing? We have to go. What's wrong?
I need some time.
We don't have time for this. Bob needs help protecting the others.
Everything is backwards.
I'm sorry I put you through this, but I didn't know any other way to open your eyes.
I need to clear my head.
Yeah, this really isn't the
We
right
can't
time to
let
be
the
having a
others
moral
down.
crisis,
Please
Anne.
come with me. We need you and your Arca.
Everyone wants something from me.
I need you to be strong. Banku has probably already...
You've turned everything upside down.
Can we do this later?
I don't even know who I am anymore.
We don't have time.
Ever since you brought me into this, you've only been thinking about yourself.
And
Well, that's
listen,
wrong.
You're just like everyone else. You'll say
This whole time, Fig has been thinking about everybody
no
else.
idea what you're doing or what's at stake. You're a stupid, soulless forgotling.
And please, let that be unsaid.
Leave me alone.
Do what you need to do. But I have to go. Bye, Anne.
Fig?
Fig, wait. Come back, Fig. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. Fig!
Can I pick up my broken wings? Nah. So what, I just go running forever now. You really chose a bad time to have a breakdown, Anne. Oh neat, we got shining stuff. Is it the ether bridge? Oh, so we did read a note earlier about a guy who is trying to like duplicate Banku's work. I wonder if that's what this is. What is this? Maybe I should have dropped down a little more gently on that one. Does Banku know about this place? What's behind that gate? I know. How about we find out, Anne? Okay, so we gotta move the balls to where they belong. I bet we have to get them to light up again, don't we? Yep, okay. That one belongs there. This one belongs at the bottom, alright. Let's see, move this one all the way over. Move this one all the way down, I'm guessing. Then we can let him move here. This guy will move to the top. And then into the middle. Just like that. Maybe I shouldn't have run into the light. Is that it? That's the way to the real world. Surely it's not that easy.
This can't be real. Can you feel the grass, the wind on your face? Can you hear the leaves? Do you smell the dew?
Oh
You
crap,
might
I've met the
find
caretaker
it
before.
overwhelming. You'll
Last
come
time he was on a
to
farm with a
consider this
banjo.
a place of serenity.
Who are you? Or where am I? Well, if you're anything like the last caretaker, I'm somewhere in the Delta Quadrant now. I mean, I guess I'm curious about who they are. I mean, obviously, it's the caretaker, but Anne doesn't get to read the Anne doesn't get to read the notation. Okay, where am I?
You are wandering in a memory of the place you call the ether. The crystals in this cave show the memories they keep.
Okay.
I am the first that was forgotten. The oldest thought and the earliest memory.
Okay, so what was the first thing forgotten? Why the chicken crossed the road?
Forgotlings left what was once their home, and they long to return. But you have never known anything else. The ether was never yours to remember.
Where are you? Or, I don't understand. Yeah, what are you going for here, lady? I mean, you're right, I don't remember anything about the ether. But how does that impact me? What would have been the first thing forgotten? Okay, we gotta vote for I don't understand.
Don't understand. What do you want from me?
Your kind are always searching for the new, hunting it wherever you see it. What you catch is an illusion, so you search again, never resting. You leave behind an ocean of possessions to be forgotten.
Sure, sure. Okay, so I can get out this way? Anything else? But that's just the point in the crystal cave to show us memories? Let's see, John DeMarco. First thing forgotten? Perhaps not to eat the forbidden fruit. True. True. I mean, I doubt that, I'm assuming this is a Japanese game. This is definitely a game inspired by Japanese concepts and art style.
Forgetting is easy. As the new arrives, the old departs. Where does it go? Your kind fill a void with impulses of the new. One cannot blame a tree for growing, or the tide for rising.
So this anti-consumerism, that'd definitely be a kind of a Studio Ghibli concept. Which, in case you can't tell, if I haven't said it before, I really love the Studio Ghibli productions. The Spirited Away, the Princess Mononoke's, Ponyo, the Howl's Moving Castle. They're all just spectacular. Visually stunning, good stories. Nice messages even. Hello, me. Okay, so I'm not just sitting here doing nothing. Oh, I knew it. I was just about to say, I hope that, like, we're supposed to do something with our reflection. There we go. The reflection goes up the stairs while we stay down. And now we can go up, following our reflection.
Bonku built masterful creations in this world and the other. Creations made to last generations. Bonku displayed unique examples of his beautiful handcraft. But the world has moved on.
I am a sucker for a well-made clock.
He screamed and he cursed. He clung to a world that no longer valued him or his talent. Bonku formed a wish and disappeared inside it until it became true. One day, everyone was truly gone, and so was he. As he realized where he was, the thought of going back became all-consuming. He immediately forgot.
I'm not sure if I'm following all the concepts they're putting down here right now.
Strange hunger grew in him as he devised a way to return. But his accomplishment will lead to his demise.
You mean the Ether Bridge? There must be a way to save Bonku.
Bonku has planted you here, and your roots are his. You need to make a choice.
What choice?
Yeah, what choice? Light side or dark side? Mayo or mustard? Oh, I love this sort of gameplay. So right now, I'm having to control both the reflection and myself to accomplish different goals. Oh. Okay, come on. Okay, I gotta go a little bit too far. There we go. Let's see, do we both have to move our levers? Oops. Nope. Okay, there's another lever. I missed that. Oh, I lost my reflection. Should I be jumping?
You don't
So once I remember, what happens?
Don't come back until it's gone.
This is making me think of the cartoon Meet the Robinsons, where the kid's a genius inventor and he finds a way to build a time machine, or he doesn't find his future self builds a time machine, and his past self eventually is able to use it to go back in time because he wants to see his mom when his mom dropped him off at an orphanage.
I'm gonna call her Anne.
Well, I'm not the father, that's for sure.
This will keep you warm. Someone will find you here. Please forgive me.
Let's see, we got a mom whose dad made her get rid of her baby, a husband, or baby father, excuse me, who claims that it wasn't his. Okay, so are we sad or are we mad? I feel like I should be both. I'd be pretty sad and mad in this situation. Sad that I was given up, and mad that I was given up. When my sister and brother-in-law were looking into the adoption process, one of the first things I did was warn them not to watch Meet the Robinsons. It's like his favorite movie, and they didn't listen. And they're like, "We have all the regret for watching this." Like, whenever you're going through the adoption process, watching a movie about kids in orphanages it's gonna make your heart break for them. Is that a little me behind me that I'm seeing? Oh, I did not expect that. So I'm meeting up with versions of myself? Okay. Well, now we know where Rian Johnson got the inspiration for his scene in The Last Jedi where, let's see, where Rey kept seeing versions of herself. It was this moment right here. And I look away, and then I jump. And then, let's see, sit down right here. Yep, there we go. Let's see, where's the version of me I'm missing? Because surely there's one more version of me out there. I'm assuming I gotta collect all the me's. Let's see. How do I do? Huh. How do I do this one? Ah, there we go. It was a lever hidden there. I had to act like I was using it. I'm not moving, but I'm hearing footsteps. Okay, that's the animation of me falling on the ground. So I need to get up somewhere high? Shoot. I think this is the last me to get. What am I missing here? It's not letting me climb the ladder for some reason. I have a feeling climbing the ladder is exactly what I need to be doing. Am I getting more see-through like? Huh. I'm putting my hand on something right there. That's weird. I can't interact with it. Yeah, see, look, I should be able to climb the ladder right there. And then when I jump, I have that falling animation right there. Okay. Hi, ghost me. At least I know why I keep hearing myself walking around. Ah, right here. Can I get down right here? I got a new memento. September the 17th. Something wonderful happened today. Something that has not happened in over 3 years. The butler of John Thomas Garfield walked into my store and placed an order for a regular clock for his master's mansion. I have already started the schematics. I will design it with a 15-day spring. The pendulum should be about 32 to 34 inch drop from the center. That will require a fairly heavy bob. The swing will be around 10 inches, I should say. I will design a moon dial at the top and carve the case from a single piece of cherry wood. The glass door I will have made from the glazier down the street, if he's still in business. This order could turn the business around. I cannot wait to get started, so I will stop writing for now and get right to it. So yeah, I am a sucker for like old-time mechanical clocks. A while back ago, my wife got a clock that used to be one that her dad gave her mom's. There we go. All right. And I had to repair it a little bit. Is that it? Was that the last thing? There we go. Weird. So I had it repaired up a little bit.
The only question you need to ask is, what does your heart desire?
Okay, I want to meet my mother, or Banku is my family. Ooh. So is this giving us the option to either go to the real world right now, or to say Banku? So it was a real nice clock, had a good swing to it. And then one day, my son was looking at it, and he reached out, and this, he was like a 1-year-old, just a little over one, and he grabbed it, and he ended up bending the part that the pendulum attaches to, and it hasn't ever worked since then. but at the same time, it's not like worth enough to actually get fixed. Okay, I'll give y'all just another couple seconds here. Do we say we want to meet the mother, or Bunku is my family? I'll give it just a second for the chat delay. And we got want to meet my mother. Okay, let's go see if we can't meet Mama.
My mother needs to know that I'm alright. I have to meet her again.
I'm not sure you can.
What do you expect me to do?
This is the oldest part of the caves. This is where the world of the Forgotten began. Here stood the cornerstone, the most concentrated anima crystal in the realm. But it was stolen.
Dun, dun, dun.
Inside the cornerstone was the heart of this world.
The Arca.
Bunku ripped it out and split it in two. One for you and one for him. That kept you from crystallizing. He will need both halves of the Arca to power the Ether Bridge. If he succeeds, this world will come to an end.
But the Forgottenlings and Big.
Our world cannot exist without the Arca.
I will go to the tower and speak to Bunku. He will listen to me.
He won't listen to
Where
me.
you belong is a choice you need to make. But you will not have to make it alone.
Who's gonna be with me?
Wait! What did you just do? Hello?
So what? I got the caretaker with me now? Okay, let's go and let this next little bit happen, and then we'll call it quits for the night. Just gonna take a nap on this conveniently placed boat, which may or may not be sentient. You never can tell. Maybe someone forgot the boat at some point.
I forgive you.
Oh, is that supposed to be the boat she was in when she was a baby, I guess, then? That's sweet. And we're just going to watch her for a while. So in Discord today, someone was posting a link talking about how Alan Moore, comic book creator, was claiming that comic book movies are a sign of the way the current generation is acting like infants, basically, and trying to claim that they're basically trying to cling to the past, and hold on to their childhood. Because these are the Marvel movies specifically are movies that they're arguing, Alan Moore is arguing, is specifically like appeals to our child nature, part of our nature that as adults we should have let go of by now, but haven't. And yeah, there's nothing I can do right now. It's just a long cutscene for some reason. And I have to disagree with his assessment. First off, I don't think the Marvel movies are made for kids. Like he was when he said kids, he was literally talking about kids under the age of 12. I don't think Marvel movies are made for kids under 12 any more than I think Star Wars is made for young kids either. But also, I think that the movies have, and not just the movies, but the comic books in general, that they have very much aged. There are still some comic books designed for kids. I happened to get one just a while back ago for my son. That was like a Mickey Mouse comic book. And the reason I had to go with the Mickey Mouse one was because things like Spider-Man, and Iron Man and Batman, they're not kid-friendly anymore. They do focus on a higher subject matter, an older subject matter than what comic books used to focus on. So I very much disagree with the premise that comic books are somehow like a reversion to an infant-like state. I think there are certainly lots of other things that you could point out to say that, this is an indication that that people aren't letting go of childhood or something. But I don't think that the MCU is a good example of that. And John is saying comic book movies like the MCU appeal to a sense of idealism, that there can still be heroes in a cynical world. And yeah, I definitely think they do appeal more in that way. Especially ones like Captain America. Like even Iron Man, it's a great story exploring how Tony has gone from the person he was into someone who's willing to sacrifice himself. They do focus on things that are virtuous and noble and worthwhile. Let's see, Anne's saying, I should have gone with Fig. What was I thinking? Okay, you know what? I'm going to stop. I see the voodoo doll over there, but if I keep going, I'm going to do this all night long. And I need to be wrapping it up because tomorrow morning I'm actually going to wake up pretty early and surprise my mom. It's going to be her birthday tomorrow, and it is her first birthday without my dad. Dad passed away the day after Christmas last year. And I celebrated my birthday a week ago. And it was hard. It was a lot harder than I thought it would be. I definitely was not expecting my birthday to, it's like, hey, yeah, just another day. But kind of the day, maybe 2 days before, it really struck me that my dad wouldn't be around for it, and just the sorrow that came with it. So I wanted to surprise my mom in the morning and have some breakfast with her, because we don't live too far away from her, just like a half hour or so. So I'm going to go and wrap it up here. Guys, thanks for hanging out with me on the stream as usual. Thanks for my wife. She is being very gracious and sharing me with y'all that I get to do this. I'm very thankful that I do get to do this because it's fun. I'd be playing the game anyway. But the fact that I get to play the game while hanging out with y'all just makes it more enjoyable. So thank you so much for hanging out with me, guys, and I will see you the next time I do this. So y'all have a great night, and I'll catch y'all later.